flashlight. Take on the winds tonight as our bursting garden shoots intertwine. The creature comforts when we're cold, a cocoon to curling cuddle folds. When the creatures cover up our shoulders, enveloped, we almost forget to breathe. Stones lay in flower beds, you arranged and rearranged them to fit. It's creative fingers green, like the perfect mother I'd ever seen. Creature comforts when we're cold, a cocoon to curling cuddle folds. And when the creatures cover up our shoulders, enveloped, we almost forget to breathe.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Nick Blazer here. Ready to get started off with this Gibraltar Backgammon Championship. We're going to be playing the first round. I don't have information yet about how many players are in the open, anything like this. But you can see there's a little bit of bustle in the room. We're getting started. I think the first round is scheduled to kick off in 20 minutes from now. So yeah, ideally, if we can get the champion or runner-up from last year, they'll be part of that match. And it looks like we're playing 13-point matches if they have the score set right. But yeah, super excited to be doing this. I'll be on commentary today, as you saw in the image slides that we're running through. You know, I'll be doing like general round coverage tomorrow, probably 2 matches, and then planning on covering the undefeated finals and the second chance finals on Saturday. So it'll be early morning my time and then like late afternoon my time. I have all those times posted. And then the finals on Sunday. So we got our whole backgammon weekend coming up here. I'm pretty excited about it. Arda, your tournament director for this too. Thank you so much to him for bringing me on to help out with this. Yeah, let me know too. So this is like kind of a new format for doing the streaming here. Where I'm doing most of this stuff from home. I'll have an XG feed for you guys and everything like that, and I'll be doing the commentary over here and just getting the video out from the room there. So yeah, I'll be watching the comments and everything like that. If you got feedback for me there, anything I can do to clean things up, let me know how my mic sounds and all that kind of stuff. I've got a new one, so hopefully it sounds a little nicer than the Logitech headset and all that. But yeah, I'm super excited for a whole bunch of backgammon. Once we have bracket links and things like that too, I'll try to share them in the description. Through the weekend, I'll be posting the thumbnails and live stream links to at least my YouTube or my Facebook page. So you can find it there. We might have someone on social media posting it to the Gibraltar Backgammon page on Facebook too. But the best way to make sure you get notified is to subscribe to this channel, of course, and you'll get notifications when new live feeds go live. And if you've got some extra time now, hop over to my channel and check that out. And please do subscribe to that too. I've got a lot more people coming by. Been working on a lot of cool content. I have a lot of things that I think can really help people out and been getting good feedback about that. So yeah, I'm really excited about my work over there. And I'm excited to present a whole bunch of backgammon this weekend here. So yeah, just wanted to come on and say hello very quickly. I'm going to hop back to the ads and promo videos and things like that while we get set up here. But just wanted to show you that Gibraltar Playroom, that people are showing up, that we're getting ready to go soon. And yeah, more backgammon to come in just a little bit here. So stay tuned, everybody. All right.
creature comforts when we're cold. A cocoon to curling cuddle folds. When the creatures cover up our shoulders, enveloped, we almost forget to breathe. Stones laying flower beds, you arranged and rearranged them to fit. It's creative fingers green, like the perfect mother I've ever seen. Creature comforts when we're cold. A cocoon to curling cuddle folds. And when the creatures cover up our shoulders, enveloped, we almost forget to breathe.
What's up, everybody? Nick Blazer here again. We're getting close to start time, and I found out that your first round pairing will be Jurgen Orlowski there on the left side. You can see him. And playing against, on top, he's from Germany there, playing against Thomas Tenland from Sweden. So this should be an excellent first round matchup. Super excited to watch these two play. Super strong opponents for sure. Germany coming off a really awesome run in the World Team Championship and the WBF Online Championships. So check that out. I think they lost in the semifinals, and it's Turkey and Denmark now. But amazing play for them. Super excited to see them play. I think Jurgen was on that team. I don't know for sure. Someone can correct me in the chat there if I'm off on that. I'm checking to see if I've got all my setup on this side too, so bear with me if I get a little distracted while I talk and prepare. When we move over to the board shot, I'll show you real quick. I won't be on that too, but yeah, we'll have, so we've got XG transcription getting prepared. We got the player cam, we got the pip count, we got all the fun stuff there, right? So yeah, we should have a real nice setup for the match when we get going. But I'll leave you on that player cam and myself for now where I get the rest of this set up too. Yeah, we're going to be playing a 13-point match. I haven't heard yet how many players there are, but I shared in the schedule there that we should have some more, probably 2 more early round matches tomorrow. And after that, we should be ready for an undefeated finals by like early in the morning. It's 6 a.m. my time, and I think that makes it 1300 Gibraltar time on Saturday. So we'll be starting an early stream that day, and then the second chance finals in the evening there, and then playing out the finals on Sunday. So that's your schedule. That's what you got to make time for this weekend. I hope you're all prepared. We got a lot of backgammon. I'm excited about it. Yeah, but while I get this like set up and everything, I guess I'm watching the chat and everything. So let me know if you have any like sound issues, picture issues while I'm getting started here. Very curious about that. You know, I don't know. I've tested this out and it should work fine. But let me know if there's anything I'm missing, and I'm happy to try to fix that real quick. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to make Germany's flag fit in the picture a little better here too. Much more beautiful. There we go. Working on the other side there. Yeah, so I guess the draw must have been completed pretty recently. You can see players filtering into the room there to get started with round 1. As I said, once I have like, a lot of times most of the time these tournaments have online brackets. So if we get to a point where that's available, I will share that in the video description so that people can see. Oh yeah, there's Thomas with his like weapons case. He made a nice little carry case. Let's see. I'm just gonna let him know I'm ready. Yeah, everything's looking pretty good for me. Oh, it looks like they're gonna have to get a clock and stuff like that too. But yeah, so he made that for his recording equipment. At some point, I think he said his stuff was kind of nice, and he had a way to make the book, and why not? Or make that box, and why not? And all these things. So yeah, that's always a funny thing to see him run around with. But it looks very conspicuous, if you ask me. But okay, I'm gonna just make sure we're ready to go when we're there. I'm gonna switch over to the board view. I think everything looks nice and set up over there, so you guys can give me feedback about the layout and everything like that. Looks like they're going to drop a clock on here too. Oh, they want to go on this scoreboard side. Yeah, that's not a big deal. That is the edge of our... Oh, he wants it on the board. Okay. I did an interview with Thomas Tenland recently. I think... I get all lost in where all my interviews are scheduled out and things like that. But I am pretty sure that is scheduled to come out tomorrow. So that's kind of fortuitous timing. So you can go learn more about how he thinks about the game, what's going on with him tomorrow. Oh, I hear from Marcel he was not on the online team. Oh, he didn't make the cut. That's really unfortunate for this video. He's a great player, though. I've seen him out at many tournaments and everything. So, yeah, I know he can play. Sure, there's a good reason for that. We've got solid feedback from Abel Halim here. Thank you. No books, no anything. Am I doing the transcription as well? Absolutely. Why would I not be doing both things at the same time? Whoa, look at this. They've got like a dice on the phone. I love this. Are they really going to use this? This is so good for watching if we get to use this. That's always like the hardest part about streaming is like trying to watch the stream and catch up, like see what the heck the dice rolls were. So that's going to help a ton. I'm excited for that. And I wonder if I can make the checkers red. I don't think I can do that. I'll check it in my XG real quick. Whoa, I got a lot of checker color options. I do have red. No way. We're doing it. Okay, that looks weird. But it matches what's going on the Gibraltar board better. Ah, yeah. I got to do commentary on one of Marcel's matches, so if you want to go watch me talk about him play against Rory in the World Team Championships, that's on my channel. But super strong play from the Germany team. I mean, Denmark and Turkey as well, like all just did incredible stuff in that tournament. Not fair for any of them to get knocked out, but what a run. It was super cool to get to commentate something. Those finals are coming up maybe this weekend while this tournament's going on too, so you can get some secondary backgammon action while that's going on. I hope you hang out with me more. All right, we got one person betting on Thomas, it looks like. No one else with strong opinions here? It's tough to bet against Thomas. Not many people in the world that would be favored against him. And if they are, it's not by much. Illicit materials in the case, yeah. I think in the case he carries a printout of every third roll position, is what it is. And, of course, doesn't want to share that with anyone until his book's ready, you know? So he's been doing it this way. Really publishing his book on the third roll is just going to be more efficient for him, I think. So he doesn't have to travel with the metal case anymore. Ooh, fans of the Kronos GX game clock? Okay. I haven't played on that one. I've seen it. I know Thomas brings it out to tournaments, so I've seen it before. It looks pretty nice on the stream, though. I'm a fan. I like the touch sensors. I guess every now and then people get mad that they can't, like, smack the sensor with a cup or something. You got to use, like skin contact is the only thing that works. But other than that, that seems standard. Nice to have the light for who's on roll and everything. The numbers show up really nice on stream. That's all good stuff. I can't tell. It looks like, that's right. This is definitely a different location that I've been to in the past, too. So when I was involved at the first contender tournament in 2020 in Gibraltar, they're at a hotel that no longer exists. And I think this one is on the boat. If you watch those promo ads beforehand, there's a nice shot of the giant cruise ship that they'll be playing on here. Looks like a pretty cool location and everything like that. Yeah, wish I could be there, but it's really fun actually to be able to do this and like handle all the technical OBS stuff from home. I like this. It allows me to do a little bit extra stuff, and transcribing from the comfort of my home is just fine by me. There comes Thomas again. Okay. What are we sorting out before we play here? I can't tell. Oh, Mate says they're ready, so we're probably going soon. We see him. Well, I don't know if you can see him there. Do you see him standing there? Yeah. That's him with his head cut off. I'm the player cam. I'm ready for him. Where are they gonna put the dice roll thing? Everything looks pretty nice. Gosh, I hope they're gonna use that app. That's so exciting. Ooh, it's 1-1 Denmark versus Turkey so far. Okay, I think I saw that online too. And I mean, just like superstar lineups in that whole matchup too, as was Denmark versus Germany. What an exciting event that is. That's super cool. I like to see that one. The online championships are a lot of fun too. It's all the online play is getting pretty exciting. I hope that keeps growing. I know Bernard's excited about that. All his visions for the growth of backgammon I really need to. I've got an interview on that one if you want to check it out. Marcel has Thomas number 7 in the BMAP PR list? Okay. Oh, they're going to use dice. No. No app. I'm canceling my interview with Thomas. This looks like Jurgen wanted to use the app. And perhaps Thomas said no. I understand. It is a game of dice. It feels weird to not use dice. I guess I get it. But it looks like we're about to get going here. Thomas with the signature earplugs as well. Make sure he doesn't get distracted by anything going on in the playroom there. And just a friendly 13-point match to start. 2 minutes per point on the clock with a 12-second delay. Thomas playing the red checkers on top, as you can see on the layout there, from Sweden. Jurgen from Germany playing the white checkers on the bottom. All right, and here we go. Starting the Gibraltar Backgammon Championships off with the 5-3 to open for Thomas. Standard pointing roll. And a 5-1 response for Jurgen. Should split after making a point in general. Cool, looking good. And what do we have for Thomas? A 3-6. Okay, this is, yeah, just running seems fine when we're ahead in the race. I like it. Splitting a fine second alternative. And 6-5 can anchor up. Beautiful shot for Jurgen. Very perfect. Neutralizes the board advantage that Thomas had. And now we're likely to play a racing game, presuming Thomas can get the safety. Ooh, 4-5 is going to link up. Very simple game to start then. These do get complicated once they get near the end of the game. Like, can be some weird decisions for sure. But, yeah, for now, it's just all the priming and attacking game plans are gone. So simple in the sense of that they're both just looking to race. And if they're down in the race, preventing their opponent from racing. All right, what do we have here? I lost the other die. 5-4. Okay. 5-4, yeah. So he's already starting to pause to think about, like, do I need to focus on distribution or making a board? This seems like a fine option for maximizing distribution, but given that he's down in the race, it looks like XG prefers a little bit to go for the board to make sure that if he gets any sort of shot, he's prepared somewhere down the road. Thomas, now, after this roll, will only be ahead 3 pips, which is technically a pip down. So he probably prefers to keep the contact at the 15. And even if he was slightly ahead, would probably have better timing in the more advanced point. So I think he wants to leave that. And just work on his board for now is probably the best. But of course, we got to think about, do we want to go for maximum flexibility and just clear the points? Oh, he's going to look at a halfway play like this too. Okay, that's an interesting idea. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so we're going to buy a little bit of timing and we're going to make the better board. That's a very interesting decision. I guess also it links up with the 8 and the 13, so now a 6-1 clears. Okay, so it's got a little bit of extra value in that way. I like that play. But in the end, he's just going to go for maximum distribution. Totally understandable. just decides he wants one last point to deal with, and will depend on a simple racing game. Jurgen going to start working on his board. Things still looking pretty equal in this game. Thomas just down to from the 13 to 8 to work on diversification again. Okay, and now the first set rolled. Going to be forced to release the mid for sure. Jurgen, with the big racing advantage, is going to be looking for a way to clear the 18, hopefully with this set, with 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s. And Thomas will be definitely working on his board now, trying to contain those back checkers from running. Jurgen trying to decide what his best is to do to make the ace or the deuce here. Okay, yeah, I mean, they're all very close. Not a whole lot of equity at stake there. 6-3 is just going to slot the 4 for lack of options. Yep. Thomas, of course, needs to make a point, but I don't think this is going to allow Jurgen to run off the 18 or anything like this roll. 4-6. He's going to be tempted, but again, I think too many hidden covers, I think. But look at this. He should go for it. Wow. This is tough to find. But when we're ahead in the race, it's certainly not going to get easier, right? Thomas is about to make the 5 and the 4 point most likely and have a better board in the future. And he doesn't have too much time after rolling a 6-4 to wait for the ace. So he's going to play the 10 pips and just count it and make it a little bit easier there, I think is what he's doing. That's clever. I like it. Yeah, but it looks like he's going to settle on the best play here. Very nice find from him. Those are tough ones to find. It's very easy to just not risk it and camp on the position. Okay, Thomas is going to regain most of the racing lead, doesn't prepare his board to attack, and doesn't get to hit. But the pips are quite useful, and it's not clear the best way to spend them. I don't think he wants to clear the contact with 13 to 8 with all of them. But stacking up the 3 looks a little bit strange here, too. But that, we can see the computer seems to prefer that as the best play. Making the ace or something, or like slotting at least, makes a lot of sense to me as well. He wants to be prepared to hit should he gets the chance. And now Jurgen, with only a 3-pip lead, even if he escapes to safety, he isn't really winning the game by all that much. So no cube action here. Thomas definitely saved or kept the cube off by rolling the double 5s there. Strong roll for him. He's pausing to think about it for sure. Let's see what he comes up with. I mean, he should have counted the roll last time and had a good idea of what his advantage was. And I don't see a lot of wastage to account for. No other major market loss. So as long as he's confident, maybe he's just being, in the first match, like extra confident in his pip counting here. And taking a little extra time here. It's good to get out that game 1 syndrome and make sure that we don't make any simple mistakes early on. But yeah, if he had the pip count last time and decided that he should run with that 6-4, hopefully he should know that the 20 pips get him pretty close. Difference counts should make this look like it's a relatively close race too. But I think he'll find the no double and end up just rolling through this. Picks up the dice and rolls it. Okay. Good decision for him. Marcel says it is cut off at the bottom. Oh, the analysis? Yeah, it's a little more efficient for real estate and you just miss the PR, which, I don't know. I can change that in future matches if it's a big deal. But I kind of like the layout the way it was there. So, somewhat aware. But yeah, the 6 ace is frustrating. You can't get to safety. And Thomas is going to have a lot of opportunities to hit and cover for a 4-point board, putting a lot of pressure on Jurgen's position. So yeah, I think making the board makes a lot of sense here. And sure enough, yeah, there's another way to not leave a blot, but okay. Double 3s is going to hit and cover. Beautiful roll for Thomas, and covers the other one. And he's going to be potentially too good after this sequence. Does he need to take a roll here? My instinct is that he can't lose the game even if Jurgen enters. And there's not a ton of gammons with only 3 outside. Maybe it's only like 10% we're fighting for, but it's something. But yeah, we're super close on this decision here. And on higher analysis, it's got 0.006 too good. Yeah. Yeah, so no like big mistakes available to be made here or anything. He can kind of optionally play whichever way he would like in this position. But I think, I mean, Thomas, very technical, kind of BMAB style player. I'm sure he's trying to figure out the best answer and not worrying about too many like practical factors or what do I want to do here. He just wants to understand if it's too good or not. Not too surprising to me to see that it would be. And he's just going to cube it, claim the game, and that's going to be 1 point to start. Jurgen with an easy pass here. On to game 2. 12 away, 13 away. Thomas with looking for the right. Yeah. I might be able to mess with the running PR. I'm going to make sure that I don't like miss any match time with it, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, 6-5 to open for Jurgen. That's going to be a standard running play. (4-1). I think it's just as typical split as the second roll for contacts. Slotting seems tempting too to try to catch up in the game somehow. But Thomas going to know those for sure. It's hard to know all the third rolls without knowing the second rolls first. 4-5 seems like the simplest game is just to try to run here and distract our opponent from making any structure. We've already escaped a checker. We're ahead in the race. And of course, like the 4 looks pretty ugly otherwise. So it feels a bit like the only option here. And he's going to find it. Nice play by him. Both players playing pretty sharp in this playing pretty sharp in the first game. 5-6 can anchor. Is there something better than this? I think the race is close enough and our board advantage is not there yet that I think we want the long-term asset. So my instinct is to give these 6 checkers on the midpoint a bunch of trouble, and maybe even the checker on the 10-point can't get home too. So I like the play, but he's going to pause to think, being down in the race, if there's some better contact play, wise decision to wait on that. 5-5, just looking to try to come home safe and win a race now for Jurgen. Likely to have a cube on the next roll, depending on Thomas's shot here, but Thomas is going to have an easy take on contact for a long time here. Thomas correctly starts 2 points, and we got Jurgen with a 16-pip racing lead. So his main threat is just like rolling a set and clearing the midpoint, and then having too much in the race there. So it tends to be small cubes in these scenarios, and pretty trivial takes for Thomas here. Not much likely to change, but of course not missing out much on waiting a roll. So I think fine decision by him with only 16 pip lead. And then, oh, that's interesting. My instinct would have been to just clear the midpoint as well, but XG has a preference for putting checkers on high points for racing distribution, I suppose. 4-3 is just going to work on the board for Thomas. Okay, fine idea. 2s, okay, so this is the kind of market loss that can happen in this position. We'll see if it's enough after the race. Yeah, and he does miss a small cube here. But, yeah, after he plays this, he's going to be 24 pips ahead in the race. And it could be, with like the limited contact now of the midpoint, 16 pips is probably too much to take. So I think Jurgen likely to claim the game and move on to 12 away, 12 away. Yeah, not a huge pass here, but fairly clear. Let's see. See how this looks now. Okay, he does get the cube in. We can almost see the stuff. I'll work on that. And Thomas is going to have to do a little bit of calculation on the race here. I'm always fascinated when players don't figure this out on their opponent's turn. But I guess the idea is probably you might not have to make the decision. Maybe maybe you don't want to give off any sort of tells to your opponent. Lots of like potential kind of poker reasons for it too. But Thomas is going to take this. Okay, he might legitimately be confused on this one too. Understandable, because it's one of these where we have a hybrid of racing equity. You know, we're not lost in the race, and some contact value too. It could be that our opponent still has trouble getting off of the 18 point here, and so it's hard to, like, we're not as used to dealing with this 4 pip away contact as like, we know the midpoint is going to be an easy take no matter what. But this is just a little bit different, and it's hard to wait how many pips in the race we get back. So a slight miss there. 6-4 still can't clear. But I think the rule that I end up using there is Jurgen has 3 landing points. So there's like a little bit of race punishment you can give for that. But most of the time he's going to have time to clear that safely and has very good distribution to do it. So it's hard to give too much of the race back in this position. It looks like it should turn into a regular race a lot of the time. And so this 6-5, what are we doing here? Just, okay, yeah. Mid down makes plenty of sense, but he ends up playing it instead. That's fine. And we have a 6-3 for Jurgen. That clears safely. Okay, he's able to do it. Now a commanding lead in the race, but Thomas rolling pretty big pips here, so he could get back in this. Not dead yet by any means. Best distribution is, oh, look at this. Yeah, he's got a decision here about whether or not to just play for the race now and leave the contact, or to find something else. And it's starting to cost him in racing distribution to stay back, and the shot getting so unlikely with the 3 spares on the 8 point, and such easy job of clearing that anyway, that it's better to just turn around and play the race now. These are very difficult decisions for sure. And yeah, makes the human play of just playing around to the deuce point. Quite understandable. The 4-1 is going to, yep, just playing it at open point. Why not? That seems good to me. 2-1 is better somehow? I don't understand that, but all this tiny technical stuff. Let's see if Thomas can find the run this time. This time it's kind of clearly wasting some pips. So I think, yeah, he finds it. And he's all the way up to better than a third chances to win here. Doing pretty well. Jurgen turning that around quickly with the double 4s to bring all the checkers in. Slamming the door on Thomas's hopes a little bit there. Definitely a lot worse off now. Okay, still over 20% though, so still some life. As long as he keeps seeing 6s on the dice, perhaps he'll be happy. 6-4 is going to take 2 off. And a 5-3 for Thomas is going to bring 2 in. Okay. 1-1 is going to take 1 off and then go for distribution somehow. These are always just not super clear. Yeah, ends up just being 4 off. Finds the best of it. 3-2 is going to take 2 off for Thomas. So hanging in there, but still significantly down in this one. Jurgen looking pretty good in this race. Continues to take checkers off the high points too. 5-4. Thomas continuing to respond to keep hopes alive for sure. No one with misses anytime soon. 6-2, okay. And a 3-1 is gonna, I think, fill in 4-3 with this. But 6-5 seems like a candidate too. We don't want to roll 5s and end up wasting pips there. I think that's must be close, if not best. 3-1 is just going to take a checker off. And yeah, Thomas creeping in there, but still needs to do something somewhat spectacular to turn it around. Or needs some pretty spectacular misses. More 3-1s from Jurgen, I guess. There it is. Okay, another checker off. I think it's worth it with both of them, but sometimes when we have to use both dice to get the checker off, we can prevent ourselves from having bad 4s for the rest of the game instead. And so yeah, not surprised to see 6-3, 5-4 come in very close there. But yeah, tends to be your default should be just ripping. 3-3, okay. Thomas is going to be in the lead now, I'm pretty sure. It looks like he should have a cube after most sequences. Takes the 2 off and 6-3 looks good for him. And wow, how would we evaluate this? This is going to be a very tricky one to figure out over the board. You can see the EPC to help you out a little bit on the board there too. But if Thomas can figure out that he's a full 5 EPC ahead, then this should be a relatively easy double and actually easy pass, I do believe. But how would we go about estimating this? It looks like a 2-roll, and a little bit better for each. But, oh, I guess it's like a 2-roll to closer to a 3-roll for Jurgen. So I think that's the way we end up seeing this. Yeah, and we can see on the statistics there, massive double, or not, a massive pass. The reason that the double equity isn't so high is that you're so likely to win it anyway. You're not actually claiming all that big of winning chances. But let's see if Jurgen can find this one. I expect he'll figure it out. If he can just notice that usually Thomas is going to get off in 2 rolls, and usually he's going to be off in 3 rolls, that tends to be a pretty sizable advantage to overcome in the late game like this. And yeah, he does find the pass. Well done. Okay. And we're going to move on to 10 away, 13 away then. Thomas stealing one away there in the end with some nice dice. Let's see if we can do even better on the visuals here. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Okay. Do we have an opening roll yet? I didn't miss anything. Oh, dice on checker, no good in this tournament. Okay. I'm learning the rules as we go. And so with the 3-point lead, Thomas might have some small initial cube adjustments, but not too much. Oh, we got Arda in the background there too. Okay. Making sure everyone's playing fair, checking things out. Oh, has some sort of question for him. Okay, okay. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I think he just wanted to be on stream. That's what's going on. Nice to see you, though, Arda. Thank you for stopping by and saying hi to the players. 5-3 is going to hit in the outfield. Yeah, very nice early game shot. 2-point boards for everybody, so lots can happen. But Jurgen half escaped. Thomas with 3 checkers back got a disadvantage there, but Thomas improves with the much better board here, so a little bit for everybody. And 6-1, let's see how Jurgen follows up. He wants to think about being a little more aggressive with the cube, but again, at 13 away, 10 away, it doesn't change too much. So if I was not certain about a cube, I might think about it. Here we just don't have enough with our opponent having such a strong board and so much work to do ourselves. Wow, really not clear what we can do with this 6-1. I guess probably the best thing is just to come around to the 9 and hope to get the safety and duplicate some numbers that we're going to anchor anyway. It doesn't look like making the bar point has a whole lot of value here and just creates an extra blot. Feels way too early to be stacking up the 6. My only other idea would be to work on the back checker, I guess. The tempo hit's an idea too, but when we have a checker back advantage, I'm like afraid to do this. But look at this, he does find the best play. Okay, very nice there. Yeah, I guess it's just too much to just leave the double shot instead. But yeah, it's always tempting to try to capitalize on some sort of advantage in the early game like this. Yeah, flattening out for distribution seems nice for Thomas here. Good find. Both players playing super sharp in this match. Good stuff. 4-4 enters. That was a risky roll for sure. What does it do in addition to that, though? Is it going to have to go for a tempo hit again just to like keep him alive in this game? I feel like if it was... Well, now we can play make the 9-point and stack up the 10. So maybe this is just a little bit better. There's only 8 in the zone, so not that much pressure to keep our opponent from playing their checkers. So I'm inclined to play quiet for the race here. But look at this. He should go for a double hit instead. Okay. Okay. That's a tough find. Oh, he can escape all the way too is what he's looking at. Okay, this is an interesting play C here. Lots of options in this one that I wasn't looking at. The double hit is very... That's tricky. I guess it does buy a lot of time and you can turn this into a blitzing position. Do we have more checkers in the zone after this? This is a difficult one for me to find here when we're outboarded. Yeah, it's going to bring the 9th checker in the zone, and that's all too. So I don't expect him to find this play. But it doesn't feel like escaping a checker and putting a 6th on the midpoint is enough stronger than just making the 9-point. So I think in and cleaning up to the 6 feels like the natural thing to do, and then you have a decision, I guess, between the other two. But yeah, just making a piece of structure and unstacking a heavy point. And while we do stay a little bit loose on the 21, you know, oh wow, he's going to find this play. Very nice, Jurgen. Okay. I don't know how to understand. Like, I guess all the other plays leave shots and a little bit too much freedom for our opponent might be the reason. But that one's not clear to me. I think very well found by Jurgen there. I'm impressed. 4-2, okay. Still not too much threat with only a 2-point board and the blot on the ace and only 9 in the zone. But a big improvement to his position for sure. Here, with the back checkers and blitzing formation, I feel like we want to get material in the zone somehow. I don't see a reason to leave sixes from the bar, so my instinct is 13-11, 10-6. But maybe something like 13-9, 10-8 could work as well. 10-4 is better and just don't have any blots involved at all. Okay, very interesting, very interesting. I guess what I'm seeing here is a little bit of a lean towards race, actually, in this position. That XG seems to not really be thinking about the blitz value and checkers in the zone as much. It just wants to kind of make progress around. So Jurgen going to find a play like that by playing out as well and trying to get home. 5 somewhat duplicated with entering numbers, but this is going to work just fine for Thomas. Enter on the deuce. Hits loose in the outfield. And now Jurgen's position continues to be under a decent amount of pressure here. 4-2. Still can't cover on the ace. No big deal. I guess I don't really want to enter high with that checker on the 8-point now. So I'd rather enter on the 23. Where's my 4 if I do that? It's hard to play 8-4. Like, the distribution looks really goofy here. I think that's better than leaving a direct 6, though. Tricky play. But yeah, it feels awkward for sure to have to play this 8-4. I hate doing that in the early game. It feels very permanent. I want to use that checker to make the 5 points, so I err on the side of pure plays a little too often there. 6-5 can still attack, but the attack's looking a little weak. Is there anything better that he can do? He can come out and make the 8-point. Yeah, when he's down in the race, making something more of a priming play seems like it has a lot of merit. I like this. And 3 checkers back does not speak to attacking to me. So I like his find here. Yeah. And very close to just attacking and bringing another checker in the zone. Tough one there. But well found. Finds the best of it, as he tends to do. Beautiful shot for Jurgen. Now with the racing lead, he gets to establish the 18-point. Thomas under a ton of pressure being stuck back on the 23 and likely to run out of time soon. And so I think this 5-2 can solve that right away and just make the 16 in a very close race. Just don't think he has space in his position to do anything else. And looks like he's going to see that pretty instantly as well. Well, I'm cutting off the top on the XG feed a little bit now, huh? I got to fix that. We'll get all our technical things in order. This is all just practice for the finals. What is 6-5 going to do? It has to leave a shot. So maybe we might as well make our board and hit loose on the deuce or something like this. What is our play B? To play down to the 7 and cover the ace? I think we're out covering the ace no matter what. Yeah, so... Oh, 2 down is a play. Okay. This is very understandable for me. I don't understand why it'd be so much better. Maybe making the bar point is going to work out a little better, but okay. Tough one for Jurgen, to be sure. I can't tell if XG actually thinks it was an error or not, too. Probably because I only plus one play. So Thomas is going to begin by hitting, and then what other 5 do we have? Don't we want to just make progress toward home? I don't see a reason to leave blots all over the place right now, but maybe there's some sort of blitzing idea or clearing idea. And yeah, 13-8, much better. This feels like such a natural play. Like, why do we want to give up points now? But I guess it's about to be a very stripped position and misses out on a small opportunity there. But wow, difficult play, I think. The 4 here, the race is relatively close. I don't see a reason to be deeper and get primed. Really, I just like that I can play 8-6 with it. So I don't care that much about the 23 and 21. Doesn't feel like the focus here. I just want to clean up that blot to somewhere more pure. And that's the play that Jurgen's going to go with. Very good. Preferred bot play too. Yeah, pretty sizable magnitude on that 2-5 for Thomas. Okay, and now that he's escaped and has like this whole... He's got a bar point game plus a little bit more. So he's got to pause to think about whether or not he might have a cube on the threat of closeouts and gammons. Decides to roll on. It, of course, is going to be fairly difficult to send a cube, or a little bit more difficult at this score, because he's going to fear recubes in a volatile position like this. So this is the kind of place where it might affect it some. And now he has a decision about just trying to come home quietly and turn this into attack. I like the coming around play because the 8 is something we're going to need if this ends up being a bar point holding game, and I think it's going to be that a little bit too often. So it feels premature to give that up. But of course we have to volunteer shots either way, so he's going to have to spend some time to think about it. Could just make the 2-point as well. That's an interesting idea, but getting closer to home seems quite nice to me. 6-1 is going to hit in the outfield. Beautiful shot. Still a lot of work to do for Jurgen, of course. 2 in, and now the 4 is probably just going to slot 6 to deuce. I don't see us volunteering other shots, but we could play the pure 8 to 4. Is there some reason to, now that we're not just trying to clear home, the 8 is less of a big deal? But I think we still want it, you know, like I don't want to volunteer a shot in this close of a race. What can Jurgen do at this 4-1? It looks like he's going to be stuck volunteering a shot, many shots no matter what. So for lack of options, I don't see something better than 6 to 2 and then probably clean up 14 to 13, but I guess he could just clean it up to the ace. It feels early to be burying checkers, but this feels like one of those positions where it wouldn't be too bad. Oh, this play B here of 14 to 10, 4 to 3 just to duplicate aces. I like that idea. Maybe you'll find that the tactics of that if he looks at the position long enough. Interesting option there, but nothing very good here. Tough to pick between a bunch of bad plays like that. Okay. And so 4-1 is going to fan for Thomas. Really inopportune time for that. And then 5-1 for Jurgen. Still not enough with the impure structure for Jurgen to cube. Close race, lots of work to do, lots of good structure. This 5-1 is interesting. I'm so always just inclined to stay pure and keep the checker in play. But maybe he's got the right idea to think about it now that he's like more of a racing game plan. And his board's just going to be so weak even if he makes these points. Like how big of an asset is the 2? Yeah, super close here. That's interesting. The thing about cleaning up 2 to ace though, well, I guess it actually probably simplifies the game, but he's got to know that if he goes for that play, I've seen Dirk do this so well, that if he goes for the cleanup to 2 ace, now his game plan is just going to be like very much simpler there. He's not going to be looking for contact kind of things, and so he's not going to have this dilemma. He's just going to bury more checkers to the ace in most cases. So as long as he's ready to play that way, I think that can be a good play. But he goes for the purity instead, totally understandable. 2 going to hit, the 4 is going to give problems for Thomas here. No good options here. So does he want to leave a direct in board or start to pre-clear something? This is going to work best if he can escape to a race. It's nice to give up that 13-point contact. And it interacts well with attacking too. So I think I like this play. But man, it is blots and shots everywhere. And so he's going to count through that and realize, well, I'm duplicated on 2s all over the board. Maybe that helps out a little bit. Aces enter as well, so I'm not giving as many shots there. It could be less than it looks like. This is quite difficult, though. Like, we can't afford to do things like shift 6 to 2, I don't think. And it's hard to imagine it could ever be less shots to play 5 to 1. We don't want to make that point anyway. We gain nothing by doing it. But yeah, he's going to look through all these, and I guess decides that it must be a tactical decision here. Wow, look how close these all are, too. That's really amazing. Yeah. And actually finds the third best of it somehow. But chooses the play that wins the most, it seems? Okay. Yeah. Finds the DMP play. Hard to argue with that. Quite marginal stuff, though, of course, too. Okay, the 2's going to enter and hit. And then what else do we have with the 3? Why not clean up? We're still outboarded, and we still don't really like contact in this game. So I kind of like his idea of 7 to 4. I think we can survive that kind of impurity. But, ooh, I'm way off. He needs to play bolder than this. He can't suffer the lack of structure and is going to need to make some points on the way home, I guess, is the argument here. I think I would be tempted with the 7 to 4 trap here, too. Somewhat close, but pretty clear opportunity to go for gammons, it would seem. Seems to increase gammons on both sides, which can be a thing when you're trailing in the score that you prefer that a little bit. Interesting decision here for Jurgen. Tough one. This game has been a lot of back and forth, too. I was hoping that I could get the match progression window on here to kind of show how volatile this game is sometimes. I guess it can't be too big on the match winning chances, since 1 point in this game doesn't affect the match too much, like the match equity. But this game has been all over the place. It's been unclear who's winning at any point, and seeming like the favorite changing pretty dramatically roll to roll. But yeah, he's going to clean up, and he's going to have a very difficult time bringing this home now, especially when Thomas enters. 5 in, I think 6 we would like to just clean up a blot, right? We're doing okay in the race. I'm not sure why we want to leave things for our opponent to do. Like hopping out to the 17 or the 14, just oh, we can go for this hit with blots. His opponent doesn't have that many blots around. I'm not sure why we would make a 6 blot play here. This feels way too big. I think we can just play like a stiff game, and our opponent's going to have to leave checkers around so often next time that we're just happy to wait, let them come to us. But yeah, all these plays where we come out to the outfield, not ideal because they're going to help our opponent unstack the midpoint with tempo. The flexibility of this position is the major problem for Jurgen, and we kind of help him with that problem when we don't just clean up. So even though the 9-3 is a little bit impure, it does seem to be the best of options here in this particular position. We'll see if Thomas can find it. Really wants to go for that tempo hit to avoid having to just like kill his checker on the 3 instead, but yeah, finds the theme of the position, makes a nice play. Well found, Thomas. 1-6, so yeah, I think this one can just hit and continue to the 6. Looks like a nice shot. What else do we have with the 6? We could play off the midpoint, yeah. I think he wants the anchor for now, though. He needs that link back to the checker on the 23. So nice hit and continue to the 6, and has strong blitzing potential. One fan away from Thomas feeling a lot of pressure here, but the 5-3 going to fix all that. Makes an anchor instead, and now Thomas has a bit of a decision here, whether he wants to step up and play quiet, challenge his opponent to play something, or go for an attack. I think it would be a nice way to play the checker. Very close decisions, but he finds this one quickly and commits to the quiet play. Very interesting. I'm not sure why that was so clear to him after he kind of struggled with thinking about breaking the 8 to hit. 6-1. Again, the race close now. We both have anchors. Mutual holding game. Decent boards for everybody. I think everyone needs to be a little bit careful not to give up racing equity. Especially here, Jurgen can't afford to leave checkers in front because Thomas can hit with the spare instead of having to break the anchor. Maybe you would do that if it was like stripped. But okay, so Jurgen with a 17 pip advantage too. That's hard to see here. Both players have 3 back. Okay, so I think 3-1 is going to be a good roll, of course. But I feel like that should steer Thomas towards hitting 2, which makes the not hitting on the deuce earlier interesting to me again. Beautiful shot for Jurgen. Gets to enter on a 4-point board and link up with the anchor. I think fairly clear favorite in the game now, but still very playable, of course. The 6 coming out from the 20. And then what's the best deuce? He's got some, I guess just to not destroy the board, it feels like we must play 16 to 14. What else do we have? Yeah, I like this play. 5-5. Okay, that's going to solve many problems for Jurgen. I think, how do we do it though? We'd really love to link up with the 13 with all 3 of these checkers. But then where's our last one? Burying to the ace or leaving a shot in front of the anchor? So play B, I guess, is to play the 13 down with 2 and then play around to the 13. And maybe our contact's not so bad from there. Maybe having the 8-point to bring this home is really important. I think I like that in the end. I think 18 to 8 and 13 to 8 with 2 makes a lot of sense here. This again is demonstrating the value of an outfield point of any sort, but especially that 8-point is the one that we tend to have in bringing a holding game home. Like we just have to have it to have a safe ride for our anchor or midpoint to get there too. So very big value in this, and I think he does find the best of it. Nice play by Jurgen. Yeah. 3-2. And so the other nice thing about this for Jurgen is that Thomas doesn't have great contact with the 18-point. There's still going to be opportunities to run. So Thomas, I think, needs to try to keep the 14-point here. But it's not the best hold, really. This particular roll, maybe we just need to leave single shots around and play from the 16. I don't really see anything better than that. We don't like our opponent getting to come off the 18 with tempo, but we really don't want to give up direct contact of the 8 or any of our points or our inner board. I just don't see what else we can do. But look at this. It's leaving that tempo gain is bad enough that just clearing the 8 can be good there. Even though that'll mean we don't get any direct shots if he runs with 1 from the 18-point. That's really surprising to me. I would have thought those aces were worth quite a bit. But it seems that Thomas's position just doesn't have enough room to hold. And he's going to be so likely to give something up anyway that his best option is just choose the thing that he's going to lose now, and go for distribution in the board and more coverage. That's very interesting. I think that's going to be a tough find. We'll see what he comes up with here, but I expect 16 to 11 to be the play, yeah. Oh, 2-2 is a beautiful shot. It's not clear how to play it. I guess, yeah, I can't imagine after this that we're going to leave returns from the bar when we could just claim. But it is quite tempting to put a checker on the roof and make the deuce point or something like this. I think we just win all the time when we play this way, so yeah, good roll. Great roll, well played. 4-1 gonna fan, and now I guess Jurgen could think about whether he wants to take a roll, but if Thomas enters on the 5, there's a lot of contact value here. Not a ton of gammons. My instinct is definitely that he should claim. Yeah, and it's not even that big of a pass. The gammon threat, big enough to make it one. But still, like impure structure and a long way to go, and this is a takeable cube by Thomas, too. He's probably going to sense that he's doing better than usual, that 25% wins are not out of the question, and that his concern is going to be the third checker back and whether or not he loses gammons. And potentially, think about, well, whether do I want to make some sort of tiebreaker decision based on the score here or not. But okay, so it looks like Jurgen has not sent this cube yet, though. I thought for some reason I saw him reach for it. I expect he'll find it. Okay, finds a good send. And now we'll see if Thomas has done his thinking yet. Nope, just drank some water. Hope not to see a cube, I guess. Let's see if we can find this pass here. This is a bit tricky. His board's very good, but it does have a weakness in the open 21, which is, or the open 4-point offensively. That is going to be a hint that it's more passable, that our contact is weaker than usual. He's going to take it, though, too. Okay. I mean, not one that I fault by too much. I think, again, it's hard to weigh those extra gammons in a lot of cases here. And he finds an awkward roll right off the bat. This is going to feel like it justified the take in one shot pretty much. I think maybe while our opponent's on the roof is going to be a nice time to clear. Maybe I'm thinking too big here, but there's pretty nice duplication with 14 to 10, 14 to 13 as well. It duplicates the 5s to enter that would hit from the 20 and the deuces to hit from the 11 when we do this that would enter as well. So there's not going to be a lot of rolls, and our alternative is burying a checker and we still have to get home. So it misses that tactical opportunity, not by a lot though. And Thomas going to enter, would have missed, just saying. Gets to slot the 4-point now, and now I think he's going to be feeling great about his take after this roll. Looks like he has very strong winning chances now. 4-1, just going to have to play quiet somehow. Yeah, 8-3. And we can see Jurgen here, after finding the best play, would still only be 63% favorite. So wins dwindling quickly now that he's entered. But being on the roof and the gammons that came along with it was the real threat in the position. 2-1 doesn't do a whole lot. Maybe it can afford to come out 20 to 18. But 8-5 is going to be the natural play. 2 blots behind, maybe it's not going to hurt too much to do that. Yeah, he has the opportunity to seek a little more contact, but again, finds a very human play. Double 3s can't clear. Oh, this is a nightmare. This is going to destroy the board. Can't move either of the back points. Very bad shot for Jurgen here. Has a decision what he wants to do. The last one, I mean, I think, how are we ever leaving a direct shot here? I don't see it. I think he's got to do this. Yeah. And Thomas now, looking pretty good. It's going to be difficult to find recubes at this score, for sure. But the contact and shots are coming. So I think he's going to want to hit it first. Probably not going to send volatile cubes. Turning it up to 4 with this big of a lead is going to start to have an impact for sure. But I think he'll still be able to find a claim after he gets a hit or good enough position, something like that. Oh, he has a small miss there, too. I'm not sure what was better with the 5-2. 20 to 18, 40. Oh, we can play for even more contact. What a play that is. These are so hard to find. We're just not used to playing against crash positions and finding maximum contact like this. It feels just fine to play 20 to 13 like he did. Not sure what the tactics of that are exactly. 6-4 can either make 2 points and leave a shot on the 8, have a lot of returns, or he can just go for the clear now with blots and board. Maybe making the board first is better, but no, okay, this is the fastest path to not having contact. That's our plan here. Finds a good play with that. Okay, 4-1 is going to hit for Thomas. And without I'm not sure. There's going to be a lot of claims here. Maybe not a whole lot of too good. But 4 is going to come in and hit, force to. And then the 5, I guess, is just going to try to run home. I'm not sure I see a lot of value in playing 8 to 3. But yeah, with his damaged board, hitting not even that exciting for Jurgen. Not much of a role here. Thomas is going to have a very interesting decision, I think, from the roof here. Why 8 to 3 with it? I'm not sure. Maybe it's going to save some gammons with a crossover, but it just feels so impure. And yeah, I think this one feels like enough gammon threat and positionally strong enough, so difficult to lose, that I am, I entered the wrong move there. I better fix that. But yeah, I think it feels like I don't know, like I'd feel comfortable cubing this one, but it's small here. Okay. And we can see with the wind's low enough and the gammon's high enough that that it's scary to send at this sort of score. So he's right to have some hesitation. But after 3-6, there's not that many checkers outside. This could be too good even. It could still be too good, but there's not a lot of gammon threat until he hits more checkers. So again, I think I tend towards just claiming this one. And wow, he can actually take this? If he sends this cube, okay. We have a 31 pass on ++. But this would be an incredible cube to take over the board, I think. It's hard to see much winning chances. We know we're getting gammoned. Our position's so trashed. I don't see a whole lot of human opponents trying to play this out. So for practical reasons, I think it's a strong cube that way too. But again, I think the real consideration for Thomas here is probably closer to a too good kind of decision. But there is some score influence where we want to think about, do I have the right mix of wins and gammons to claim this on a recube? Or am I going to be canceling the effect of my gammons by sending it and creating a really easy winning take for my opponent? But he's going to miss the cube there and play conservatively with the lead. Okay, very understandable. Again, this is definitely the tendency at match scores to just like avoid making a big error by not sending a cube when leading. 1-5. Okay. So we'll see what Thomas thinks of this position now. Of course, gammon's dwindling even further. It has the 5-point board and should be a very heavy on the wins position. Escaping that single checker going to be very difficult for Jurgen. But there's no immediate threats to close out the 6 prime. But we're going to get it at least a double shot on all 6s out. It seems like a bit of a miracle to escape this around. So I mean, Thomas maybe in the 80s with wins here is my expectation, which I think he's going to find would be enough to pass it. Yeah. And interesting, the gammons haven't really gone down too much now, and now it does happen to be actually too good. So this is interesting. If Thomas is pausing to think, maybe he thought he didn't have enough for a cube last time. Yeah, I see people commenting on the last pass now. By the way, I'm on a 3-minute delay, so if I get to responding to your comments a little bit behind, that's why. But okay, he is going to find the cube here. Well done. And I don't think Jurgen's going to want to play this. But there's always this temptation when you're 50 pips ahead in the race and just one back. It's like all it takes is a small, roll a 6 or 2 kind of miracle. So you have to slow down to look at these and realize, not only do I only roll a 6 a third of the time, but my opponent's going to have double shots. And so then I'll be on the roof, and then I'll have to roll an ace and a 6 to get in. It's pretty rare that you actually get to run out in a position like this. Not always the case, but in this one, Thomas has the timing to contain this very well and efficiently, I think. And there is some gammon threat if you get into some sort of blot hitting contest too. Thomas would love to make a 6 prime and recirculate and maybe pick up some blots here. But yeah, I expect Jurgen is going to see this one as a little too trash to play out. But yeah, the threat of the race. Oh, he's going to take it and play it though. Okay. He must think I'm going to run enough to get there. 4-4 I hadn't thought about, but Thomas did. He knows it makes a 6 prime right away. And then why not come off the 20? Let our opponent play some numbers, or maybe stopping some numbers is actually better there. I don't know. Okay. There must be some tactical reason for that little bit. All right. 3-6. Oh, here's one. Freezes that check on the 17. Maybe this is how I was playing anyway, though, if you run with one. Probably. So I'm not sure it changed all that much. 5-1 is going to miss. This is a bit of a dilemma, though. If we go for the hit on the ace, we're going to win more gammons for sure. It's going to be tempting, but against the 3-point board, I guess we could lose that somehow after a miracle. So not completely clear what I'm supposed to do with this. Probably when we feel uncertain like that, we end up playing quiet and just making sure we win. Yeah. 7-1, not so far off. Okay. And finds the 10-4 instead, as recommended. And by staying back, okay, he's prevented his opponent from getting by and is going to get another single direct shot at least. And notices immediately that the 3s are duplicated if he stays. So maybe that could be best, but of course it feels like we can reduce shots by playing 8-6. I don't know. The cute duplication play actually makes a lot of sense here. Yeah. Tactically, it actually works. Okay. That feels like a very strange exception where we wouldn't want to advance and reduce shots. All right, the ace hits. The gammon is on. 20-16 or 19-15. He's counting where all the sets go, so maybe there's a small advantage to one of those. And hoping to dodge an ace, but even if Jurgen rolls the ace, Thomas is going to have some trap opportunities. Now he's looking for the 6s and 3s to hit and gets to make the point and close out 2. Okay. Getting close, 40 to 50% to win a gammon here now, I think, for Thomas. So this is getting scary for sure for Jurgen. And that would take him 8 points to 2 away for a massive match lead here. Thomas just making sure that he doesn't leave shots on any of his big sets here, 6s and 5s for now. Likely 2 coming around. And we don't really like the distribution of a checker on the 6 and a 5 with the win on the 7. So is there some better way to do this? Maybe you could play into the 3 instead. Nope, seems that just playing from the back is best. We don't want to sacrifice by playing deep there. 3-2. So we always notice that we can play even by playing 7-4, 7-5, 6-3. But we tend to prefer just playing in like this, I think, for the distribution when we're looking for maximum safety. Too many checkers on the high points, not taking enough off, I guess. So 5-4 is going to take one off and even out on the outside. Looking good. Jurgen's going to get a practice roll in. 5-4 with a close gammon race. I think he probably needs to peel a checker here. That's going to be always the dilemma in a situation like this, is do we just clear from the rear or do we play more aggressively? But when the gammons are like in that 40% range, it's just worth a lot of them to take the checker off right away. Misses a small opportunity there. 3-3 is going to get him back in the hunt. Can he afford to peel to here? It feels bad to have to just clear points. If he peels to, his opponent can't stay back on the 3 all that often anyway. I think he can take 2 off here. I think he's going to find this probably. And it's just way too many more gammons. He sees it now. Yeah, well played, Thomas. The 1-2 is going to fan again. Oh, wow. The gammons are going up for sure now. Thomas looking to dodge a big ace. The 6-1, though, he's going to leave a shot. Not a lot of wins for this for Jurgen anyway, but this is a great way to save the gammon for sure. Doesn't advance or doesn't need to reduce shots because there's 2 on the bar, so same number of shots either way. The 3 enters. Thomas going to have a chance to roll an ace and put that checker back up once more. 2-4 just going to take 2 off. That's going to be a fine roll too, though. And looking like a big favorite to win a gammon here, I think. 6-5 is a lot of pips. That's going to help Jurgen as much as it could pretty much, right? But still losing a gammon over 3/4 of the time. In very tough shape and at big risk of getting the 2 away. Double 4s is going to nearly lock it up. That's a huge roll for Thomas. 6-4 is going to maximize crossovers somehow. Probably 17-11 and 19-15. But he's going to have to figure out how all of the sets play after this. This is one where it's going to be his last roll pretty much. So I don't think there's any way to avoid all the calculation here. But there shouldn't be that many rolls to go through. We can see a small advantage to the natural looking play. We can kind of count through it and look at it on the board here. After we do this, what is it? 5s are going to get off? I'm not sure. 4s maybe as well, maybe not. Maybe it's just 5s and 6s no matter what. And 5-2 not enough. He's going to resign that gammon. And on to 2 away for Thomas. Very strong start. No points on the board for Jurgen yet. And it looks like the players are going to take a short break there. Yeah, quite understandable after a start like that. So while they take a quick break, we will switch back to... Here, we'll come over here. I'll wave at you again. Hey, y'all. There's the players standing up to get over there. At some point, it might set up some positions to look at here, too, which I guess we can do in XG, too. But actually, I want to see if what the match progression looks like. It is a downhill roller coaster for Jurgen, unfortunately. It was like he was just hovering around in that game around 35%, you know, doing okay for a long time. And then all of a sudden, once the gammon got real, it dives down to, I think it says 5% match winning chances in this already. So he's been a small favorite in the match at a few points, but pretty big underdog, and going to take a lot of work to get back into this one now, too. Relatively sharp play by both players, too. They just some big cube decisions, really, you know, like not too much on the checkers, but, you know, both getting into some score trouble, putting the PRs probably outside of their usual range, or like the overall assessment or the name or rank that they're given, but looking pretty good in general. But yeah, well, they're on break here. I'm going to send you to some ads real quick, and we'll be back with the conclusion of this match shortly. Thanks so much for watching so far. And we'll come back with Thomas with that 2-way, 13-away lead and see if he can close it out. Be right back, everybody. All right, players coming back to the board here. We're going to get back with Jurgen at a 2-away, 13-away deficit. Pretty tough there. I think we've got him chatting to us too on the YouTube chat there. That's hilarious to me. I love that. Thomas probably appreciates that too. But okay, let's get back to the board view. There we go. And we'll see if Jurgen can grind it back. As usual in backgammon, it's, I mean, the chances are around 5% or something like that to come back from 2-away, 13-away. Not good. Opting for the gammonish 2-down play with a trail, I think that makes a lot of sense. Not going to need a lot of advantage to send a cube trailing this much and with Thomas 2-away either. But yeah, so we see comebacks, 5% comebacks like this happen, it feels like all the time though. And they just happen one game at a time, like all of a sudden he's closer to 10%, then 15. And so we'll see if he can grind it back. But it all starts with winning this game for sure. Tough to let this one go against the stacky position. Thomas seems to be favoring not splitting. I think with his third roll knowledge, he's likely to find the best play here. And down in the race a little bit, he can go for priming too. Yeah, I like this idea. I think they're pretty close here. And Jurgen going to find a nice early cube here with the structural advantage he feels like. Is this enough? Yeah, right on the borderline. And a nice take by Thomas, of course. But well-found cube there. Nice and aggressive as we have to do with any sort of advantage or threats. Going to hit the shot in the outfield. Put some gammon pressure on Thomas here, and we'll see if he can close it out. 3-6 from the roof is not going to hit anything. What can it do? I guess just play into the 4 and duplicate 3s. Seems like suicide to jump to the outfield and leave the triple shot instead. But not a great entry there. Look at that. It is a little bit better to just come out there. Okay. We don't want our opponent to hit and escape with tempo. I don't know what the idea is there. That's a weird one. The bar to 18 even makes a little bit more sense. Maybe we really need to fight for an anchor or something, but I'm not sure what the logic of playing out to the 16 is there. I guess when our opponent makes points, we're like challenging a bunch of blots around, so it could be some game there. Double 6s. Okay, he's going to make a nice priming point. He can clean up a blot 14. Yeah, I think just both the outfield ones will clean up. And hope our opponent doesn't anchor, of course, because then we got a mountain bearing down on him for gammons here. Thomas just desperate to roll a deuce here for sure. 4-2 will do. I think he'll make that first, and then he'll think about making the 8-point. That's my opinion anyway. But of course, happy to give up the 8 to cover. Very nice shot for him. Doesn't get much better than that. It's probably at the top of his distribution of rolls. What has Jurgen got here? 6-3 can make the 4-point in front. That's probably best. But he's got to think about just trying to run while he has timing in the position too. But I think the board point is just pretty significant improvement. And I expect he'll go for that. It's been a nice, exciting match so far. I think we see some players maybe picking up their stuff from the tables, maybe also going on breaks, maybe some matches finishing early. Some of them tend to do, he's going to go for the... Feels like he just needs the time to win there to get out. But okay. Misses an opportunity to make the 4 instead. Understandable game plan for sure. But Thomas is going to hit that and prevent escape from now. And we can see even if after he gets hit, Jurgen still has a solid advantage here and still most likely to escape and use that prime to bring a win home. Just had an opportunity to go for a little bit more, but definitely in okay shape here anyway. Not missing too much with that play. 4-2 somehow doesn't really do anything. I'm not sure what Thomas is supposed to do here. Maybe, he's down so much in the race that I'm not sure he needs to step up 24-22, but I guess eventually he wants that mobility. I don't think he wants to be primed here. So maybe I'd find that in like 8-4 or something like that just to reduce shots. I don't really know. But look at this. He can actually... he can make the 8-point and play down. Of course. Okay. Somehow I didn't see that, but that looks like a very nice candidate as well. Obviously making a bit of containment structure, very good there. And giving up the midpoint, not as important as usual, because our opponent doesn't have a midpoint or any outfield pressure or presence. So even when Jurgen enters and hops to the outfield, he's still going to get the same shot that he would have otherwise. This one tricky though. And that making that 8's going to do some good containment work. We're going to be very happy to have that on a 5-3 or 2-6, of course, rolls like this. Yeah, a little bit of both seems like a fine candidate here, according to the bot too, but it seems to maximize blots in a way. I don't know. Maybe not. I guess they're all kind of the same. It's a tricky one. A lot of close plays, and Thomas is going to spend some clock time to try to get the best of it. And he does indeed find the absolute best play. Good stuff. And 6-3 going to fan again. Uh-oh. Jurgen could be getting in trouble here. I mean, it'll be a bummer to not score any points and just lose this way too. This is a tough position that he's in. I'm sure he's sweating the luck and entering here quite a bit. But Thomas, after these 5s, can definitely just crack now. And the prime's doing very good work. So still looking okay for Jurgen. But of course, Thomas creeping back in there. He's going to find the 3. Okay. 2-1 is going to enter and go for distribution. Nice find there. 5-1, I think, is probably going to be required to hit loose just to get rid of that checker that we put deep there and go for some attack to try to buy us time to escape the prime. And that seems to be what Thomas is finding here too. And Jurgen looking for a deuce. A 5, not so bad though. It's going to be hard to be attacked there with everything going on, with the blot behind and everything like that. And not a whole bunch of material in front to point on. So here, for example, we certainly can hit loose on the 5, but do we? I don't know what to do with the 4 afterward if we do. There is no good play here, though. I guess we could, I mean, this might be one of the rare situations where it feels okay to clear the 6. What else do we have? I think just clearing it completely. I mean, 24 to 21 doesn't look terrible to be up there, but then we don't have any 4 to play with it anyway, so I really don't know what to do other than clear the 6 here. But, okay, that's so bad that it is better to just go for the hit and try to clean up to the ace. Yeah, I can see the tempo gain on that is kind of nice. At least we don't let our opponent just escape. It looks like he's going to find this idea, but this lifting to the ace is a little bit tricky. I think finding this is possible when we realize we're burying a checker either way. And now we're just kind of reducing shots. But we'll see what he finds. He might try to keep the checkers more in front. Difficult to go for plays like these at a two-way scoreline holding the cube, too. I mean, you know that you don't want your opponent to win a gammon, and it feels like you're going to be giving up more of them. Not so many more, but yeah, it's going to be scary to do at this score here for sure. We can see, looking at all the stats, that it only creeps up to, well, I guess it's like from the high teens to the low 20s, so not a significant change. But yeah, we're feeling like anything that's going to introduce gammons at this score just feels like not the idea. We'd like to save it, and we don't really care about winning a gammon ourselves, which feels like the merit of going for the attack. So, tricky one to be sure, but it just wins a ton more. Oh, look at this. It does look like he's at least going to consider the best play here. We'll see if he can hit the clock on it. But he's, yeah, settled on the hit, and if we're going to hit, then I guess we're listening to the ace. Well found, Thomas. That's a difficult play to find for sure. Uncomfortable one to make, to be certain. Gets a fan, rewarded. And the 5-1, well, it can cover, but then we're just completely out of time. So do we need to try to hop the prime here? Another real dilemma. Because even when he covers, Jurgen can still just enter on the 5, and then we're at risk of breaking the 6. For now, we have the better board. I'm tempted to go on that for sure, but it looks like he's going to make the sane play. Introduces quite a few more gammons. I feel like at least we still have a 4-point board, but yeah, the distribution's so good that it's just going to rain down on us and prime us, I guess. I'm not sure. Yeah, hard play for me to make. So we can just see so many rolls are just going to give up the 6-point. I don't know. I guess we can still hope to escape the 24-point checker first before we give up the anchor instead of going for that right now. Yeah, I am quite attracted to this suicide play that wins 0.5% more games at the expense of quite a few gammons. Totally understandable by me, but the bot doesn't like it, that's for sure. 5 in. And what do we do with the 4? I guess we could just clean up and challenge our opponent to make progress here. But rolling a 6 is pretty huge for Thomas's position and has a lot of winning chances. Maybe he's required to go for a hit now. I really don't know. I'm a bit lost in this position now that Thomas has gone for the big play. And they are super close. That's really interesting to me. I didn't consider this 5-1 hit. But, of course, the plans are like we need to take a tempo away and can't afford to let our opponent make the 9-point and race potentially. It's like his only hope. And then just cleaning up to the 6, well, puts the pressure on him and still has 2 checkers behind the prime without really risking being attacked right now or sending more blots back against a 4-point board. And the 4-point board is a little bit scary there. So, serious dilemma for Jurgen here, too. They found themselves in a very complicated position. But Jurgen's like maintained the advantage in this position with his prime and still very likely to get to more games here. So doing okay in the match. Still going well overall, all the things considered. Just hopping out to the 16 is an interesting option too that I didn't look at. That's going to make the most progress towards escape and make sure we don't get attacked on the 20. When our opponent doesn't roll an ace or a 7, we're doing really well and just like simply winning a little more. But it feels quiet, not something that I was really considering. And Jurgen finds the best of it, goes for the attack, gets a fan out of it. Okay, this is huge. And now Jurgen could win a lot of gammons here. Big swing for him in this game. The 2, I think, is going to... Oh, it can make the ace, though. Of course, we see that it can cover 5-3, but maybe it's time to just transition to a blitz completely and make the ace plan. I like that. To let our opponent anchor and come in and consolidate blots, anything like this. It can be hard to see these game plan switches like this over the board when they change so suddenly, because we've been thinking about a prime for so long, and now we're just shifting gears, right? But that's what the position calls for here, now that we've made a lot of progress towards home, and our opponent has a ton of blots. Gets a nice fan out of it. 2-1 has a dilemma now. Do I want to make another board point, which I think is a little harder to do than hitting the blot, or hit on the 17, something like this? I like his decision there. 4-2 only enters 1, so rewarded with not having 2 feet on the ground. Definitely wants to attack and keep Thomas from potentially making the 23-point anchor, I think. Especially since he can hit loose or hit 10-9 as well. Looks like a very strong roll. But he has other ways to hit a bunch of checkers that don't leave direct shots, but that's still... Oh, look at this. It's better to hit outside. Interesting. I thought preventing the anchor would be so important for winning gammons in games. But not so here when we can send... 4th checker back, I guess, is the issue here. And again, our opponent still has this 4-point board. Jurgen playing this very strong. They're quite close. But his instincts are good to consider this alternative here and just send a bunch of checkers home and challenge our opponent to play a 23-point game that's so impure like this anyway. I guess the upside doesn't look as big as usual. It's a big part of it. So, yeah, correctly avoids the risk of being hit on the deuce, even if it might allow his opponent to make an anchor. Thomas enters on the 3, though, and now Jurgen again looking to attack. When we can hit 2, I think we're going to go for it, right? I don't think we want to let him have 2 anchors. Yeah, this looks very nice. Very nice shot for him. Thomas can't find a 2 from the roof. And so not under just gammon pressure anymore, under a little bit of backgammon pressure in this position. The 5's going to cover and maybe 8-6 for distribution. I think everything else is where we want it. I guess he can consider making the 3 first, but I don't really see the urgency in that. I think we'd rather just not be hit. Yeah, this looks like a nice way to do it. I didn't look at I got to look at the stats there. I wonder what the backgammons are, if they could be like up even 10% now on a closeout or something like this. But it's getting quite scary for sure. Wow, we're up to like 23% backgammons. That's huge. It's like rare that the number gets that big, but 6 points would be a big chunk of it. Straight to 7-away, 2-away would be a nice improvement for Thomas, or for Jurgen. Okay, finds a way to keep off the 6s. My instinct would have been 2 in, but makes sure they still play, has the right number of crossovers, so going to be fine for sure. 3 in and 2 down. Okay, makes 6s work again, but could be a little awkward on certain rolls here, like a 5-4, for example. I think it just plays to the deuce. Yeah, this is okay. But of course he wants to peel quickly to win a backgammon here, so hoping to take a few off. Can take 1 off and just play 6-3. That looks nice. And so similar to when we have a close gammon race, I think that he's going to be incented to bear off a little bit more aggressive here. I'm not sure that I see it on this roll. I guess, well, the other options aren't great. Maybe we can clear the 4 here and go for backgammons that way. No, it's still better just in all game plans to clear from the rear. Okay. The 4-1 tends to work that way. The 5 often will peel checkers from if it allows us to take a checker off and play earlier. But also that spare on the 3 is a big indicator. Yeah, he's going to go for this aggressive play. I understand it. It wins more gammons, interestingly, but not more backgammons. I wonder why that is. I don't know exactly. Maybe it's just not likely to take a lot of checkers off in subsequent rolls or something when he has the stripped high points like this. But okay. Looking to bear off 2. There we go. So the 3's coming off, and then there's the 2 need to even out, leaving. So currently with 3 checkers, it's 6-5, 6-4, 5-4. The other way, it's 6-1, 5-1, 4-1. So maybe it's better to just like take a checker off and get closer to bearing off. I'm not sure. Yeah, it does seem like bot prefers just peeling there. 6-5. Okay, but he's rewarded for his play. Avoids leaving a shot. It didn't get him a checker closer immediately, so I think that's probably what he used there, was that he's still even after only taking 1 off. Ooh, okay, this is a huge shot for backgammons. Thomas under some pressure now. I think probably still a favorite to get off it. Entering is a strong start, but needs 2 rolls to do it. So, and needs to avoid, I guess, 2, maybe the aces. I don't know. There's got to be some missing sequences for Thomas as well, but not 2 of them, too many of them here. A 2-1 would be scary. A 4-1 is something that leaves a 2-1. And so any 2s or higher for Jurgen for the BG. See if he can do it. 3-2, okay. He's going to leave it up to Thomas. Needs to avoid the 2-1 to save 2 points in this match. And does it. Gets to resign the gammon instead. That was a sweat. We don't get backgammon sweats too often. That's exciting. But okay, a very much needed 4 points for Jurgen here. And a tough game that they navigated through there. 9 away, 2 away. So still very aggressive opening cubes for Jurgen for sure. Oh, he tries to take 5 points. 2-6. Okay, Thomas is going to split in his opening. Yeah, no changes at this score. Potentially some more aggressive plays like an ace-5, I think, can hit twice here for Jurgen. But 6 is, I think, standard. I don't think we want to go for blitzing here. We can just win the game when we come out to the bar. Usually we're shy of a cube here for money, but at the score it's going to be pretty comfortable to send it here, I'm pretty sure, even after cleaning up the blot. So here it comes, and then the question is probably, I think it should still be a pretty trivial take for Thomas. Yeah. But there's enough gammon threat and wins here to get it in early. And Thomas is going to scoop that up. Yep. And we'll see how he proceeds. 3-1 is a good start. Makes a 4 prime and a nice board point, and we'll see how Thomas responds. A 3 is going to safety up this game quite a bit. A 4-4 is at least going to make 2 board points somehow. I mean, it's going to cover the 5, and then what do we do? Probably make the deuce to avoid leaving the shot from the 8, I think. What else does he want to think about here? He wants to think about making the 9. Interesting. Yeah. But okay, I mean, this is at least going to make it harder for Jurgen to attack. Has to respect the board, but I don't think this is going to slow him down. Very nice to make the rack on head, but a lot of returns from the bar too, interestingly enough. But when Thomas doesn't hit those, he's under a lot of gammon pressure now. Deuces is very nice. This makes the 4 point and a 4 point board. So keeping himself alive here. How does Jurgen follow up? He gets to make the 7 and play down. I don't think there's anything else. Would have loved to point on head and threaten gammons here, but I don't think you would throw this one back. Pretty nice roll to make the 4 prime too. 6-4 can escape a checker for Thomas. Okay, that's going to reduce some of the gammon threat in a relatively close race. So nice find in that shake for him. And Jurgen now in a hurry to get the material in the zone to close out before Thomas can move freight home. 5-2 can make the 8 point and volunteer an ace. I don't think that's worth it, so I think we're just spreading out on the 5 and the 4. Seems like the play to me. Oh, it could play 2 down as well, though, and get checkers in the zone like we talked about. That's probably interesting. I'm not sure. I would have thought that would lead to a gammon a little more often, but the numbers don't seem to support it. So just looks to be just an inferior play. Oh, making the 8 does. Okay. Yeah. So playing 2 down is an option and leads to more gammons. That makes sense. Ooh, a 1-6 gets to hop out, makes a bid for freedom, and if he can avoid the 5 or 4-6, he's going to be in fine shape in this game now. Okay. So all the gammons evaporate pretty much for Jurgen. Thomas hasn't won this, though. This is like probably 50-50 type game. Can't get to safety on this roll either. He's going to look for duplication ideas with where he leaves it, probably, or else just try to get closer to home. Yeah, no aces, so this is fine. And Jurgen is going to be in a scary position if he rolls a 3 to hit a lot of the time anyway. Probably going to be willing to do it, but okay. 2 covers and 4 slots the deuce, or the 7 into the 3. Yeah, this seems a little bit stronger. Oh, Mate is getting himself on camera a little bit more there. Okay. 3-1 can make another blocking point, but probably better just play into the 6, I think. I think we prefer to just have the distribution and flexibility to try to make more board points and play home quietly. I don't think it's gaining enough, and our ace would be so misplaced to have to play it anywhere else too. Maybe if we had a free ace elsewhere, we'd be happy to make the 10, but I just don't see how we can afford it here when the contact might be coming. But that's okay. He prioritizes not letting his opponent escape. Very interesting. Is this right? Wow, nice find by Thomas. I would not have been able to see that one. Double 2s is just going to break away. Well, he's going to count the race first, and he's going to be ahead a small amount. So I think this is the best he can do, but it's uncomfortable because he's not ahead that much. So even though it's probably the best play, it's not like a fun play to make when you're only 57% and your tournament, like match life, depends on winning this game. Not what he was hoping for when he sent the game by any means. But a 2-1 is going to take a little bit of the pressure off. 2-2 going to clear pretty naturally, probably coming off the 13, maybe bringing one in. Six, 4, I think down from the mid seems fine, and then make the 4 point. Oh, he can make 2 points, though. Yeah, I don't know. We could pretend we're playing for contact. It's not bad for the race yet, so maybe why not? But okay, he's going to do it this way for distribution instead. Okay. All these seem fine. They must be close. But Thomas feeling happy, I'm sure, to be playing for a potential, just has to get a little bit lucky to close this match out. And if not, he'll go to 2-way, 7-away, which isn't so bad either. So nice position to be in when you have a big match lead like this. Gives your opponent a good sweat for sure. 5-2's coming into the 6 again. All simple plays so far. All right, goes for distribution there. And Thomas has a 4-2. Gonna play in and down. Yeah, we love to have lots of checkers on the 4 point to make sure we have 4s for the rest of the game. I hate when that clears out and we have to play 4s from the 6 or the 5 instead. All right, 4 in, 3 off to keep the checkers on the high points. I think that seems good. 6-5 gonna gain in the race a little bit. Take a checker off. Okay. Thomas close. Definitely giving Jurgen a sweat in this game still. 3-2 below average. We got Dogfin watching in the background there. 6-5, 2 off. Okay. Close to having the lead for Thomas now. And after 2-1, I think he is going to be maybe a small favorite in this game. So Jurgen under a lot of pressure to start performing with the dice. Okay, Thomas going to help him out a little bit. I think the ace smoothing out 6-5. Probably worth quite a bit here. 6-2 takes one off, and 4-2 looks like it gets the most numbers to bear off next roll. 4-2 can just take 2 off. In general, we're just ripping whenever we get the opportunity in the bear off here. 4-3, so that's going to take another 2 checkers off. And I think Jurgen holding on to the lead now, but too close for comfort for sure. I think the 5-4 feels best for the same 4 reason I gave earlier. 6-6, okay. Huge roll for Jurgen. That's going to take a lot of the sweat out of it. Thomas can still roll a couple sets to do it here, but he's going to need to start very soon. And now he's probably just looking to maximize doubles to get back in this game with the deuce. So sure, just playing 6-4. So give him more checkers off with 4s and 5s and things like that. 4s is going to decide it. Okay. And on we go to 7-way, 2-way. Both players playing almost a perfect game in that one. Very clean stuff. Always good to see the Norwegian crowd. Marianne and Dogfin in the background there. Be interested to see how they did in the first round. Can't wait to see if we have like bracket links and things like that to follow along. As soon as I get any information like that, I'll share it. So that you guys have access as well. Can keep up with the tournament and who's doing what matchups we might have coming. I hope we'll be able to pick a matchup before tomorrow's stream so I can let you guys know who that'll be too. Now that we have the draw done and everything, all those things should be easier. Yeah, 6 hitting for sure. And then with the deficit, maybe we just want to focus on offense and play down. I like that quite a bit. And it's actually, after making the 4-point and the 6-2 split, I know at 4-way, 2-way, we would have a pretty clear cube here. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually had a cube at this score too. I didn't check it though. The 3-1. Let's go back and look at that. Yeah, so he was like right on the cusp, right on the borderline of it. And somewhat surprised that he didn't send it with how aggressive he sent last time. Thomas going to enter and make the ace and come down. Jurgen has a simple cube now, and Thomas with the decision where he wants to play it out or not. The rule of thumb I always use in adjusting these is this a double for money? And it feels reasonably strong for that. And if that's the case, then it can be passable. But yeah, okay, size will take nowhere near a cube there. But it's a nice like heuristic to see if you should even be thinking about passing, right? 6-4, good find by Thomas. That's going to hit out in the outfield. 6-6 fan. And Thomas under a bunch of gammon pressure again now. This is a very good sequence for Jurgen. See if he can follow up by making the 5-point. No such luck, no new points. What's the best we can do with it then? Probably the bar points and the 13. We can, of course, make the 10 as well, but that doesn't seem to interact as well. The distribution looks a little funny, but we love blocking in that ace point that Thomas hasn't split yet. So, yeah, feels best to me as well. We don't, I don't know. It looks like weird and a little bit inflexible, but yeah, nice find there. 2 going to come in, and then Thomas would love to make a board point in 6-4. Is the 22 worth enough to advance it to it here? Maybe he could make the 4-point and go for a triple split as well. But usually doing something with the back checkers when we're so focused on saving a gammon becomes quite a bit more valuable. So I'm not sure he's going to be able to focus on just the offensive side here. This is a really tough one. I just a lot of times like offense is what saves a gammon too. So he decides for sure he's going to play this deuce. I think that makes a lot of sense. And then what else with it? And we're just still so primed and at risk of being gammoned when we just make the 22 that I think offense is going to protect us a little more. That would be my instinct. But look at this. I'm way off on that. Well, not way off, but yeah. This would probably be the play I find here. Would be the 23 split to the 22 and make the 4. But it looks like Thomas is going to find the better of it and make the anchor instead. Nice play from him. Nice understanding of the score, I think, that he shows with that play, too. And the need to protect gammons. Those are difficult decisions for me. 3-5 is going to run out here. Okay. So, yeah, he's just going to make a bid for freedom. What else can we do? I like that idea. Why do we want to stay behind anything? And 4-3 is going to keep him from escaping for now, but at the expense of the midpoint. The 3 does naturally come down, but you could think about stepping up as well. But just making some structure and having more offensive attacking ammunition makes a lot of sense too. 5-2, what is this going to do? Maybe we can come out to the bar just to distract from all the checkers aimed at the 20-point here. We would much rather have our opponent make the bar point on our head or hit us there than to make the 5-point when we're stuck behind it. So, yeah, I think Jurgen will find this too. It's a common concept in these kind of earlier game decisions. 6-4 can hit or it can make the 5-point like we talked about. Wow, this is a tough decision though. I can't see what we're going to play as a 6 after we hit 11-7, so I think we just have to make the 5-point. But our opponent's just going to get the freedom so often that we really hate it. Really hate letting them by like that. And look at that. It's actually fairly close to hit and continue the ace or slot the 3 or something like this. We win a lot more games that way. We just give up so many gammons with the structure and everything. Ooh, he's going to look at this big play. Okay. This is going for it all. Okay, Thomas. I think a few too many gammons in that one and things like that. But I bet it must win the game. Okay, the most. And it doesn't look like it was too big of a mistake either. We'll see what XG thinks, but he gets hit from the roof. 2-6 going to enter and make both points. This is a huge improvement to make the 16. So the sequence favored him quite a bit. Came out well, even though he was hit, I think. So his play works in a sense. 5-1. Let's go back to that 6-4. Okay, it's only like 67 off. Not too bad. Okay, 81 on plus. Yeah, a little bit of overplay there. But I get the idea, and we can see over here that it wins quite a bit more. He's just got to be a little more fearful of the gammons, which he did effectively earlier. But okay, 5-1, not too much to be done with this, I don't think. Maybe there's tactics of... I can't even imagine how there could be tactics of leaving another blot. I think I'm just playing around to the 10 and hoping to come home. Oh, this is interesting. Why would we do this? I don't understand why we want to get another blot involved in slot. I guess his board's so weak that we can afford it. We win a little bit more when we just play from anywhere and don't leave shots. We get some more gammons when we go for this slot. Okay, looks to be right, probably on money too. And he's going to find close to it. This is pretty sharp stuff from Jurgen, I think. That's a bold play to find. 2s can make the 14 and make a point. Okay, Thomas finally with a little bit of offense. Maybe Jurgen won't be able to clean up that blot on the 5 points, and he'll have a chance to escape from behind structure too. 3-4 can't cover it, but it hits. So, not too bad. 1-1 is going to return fire and I think get up to the edge, 23-22. Under a lot of priming pressure when he's back on the 23, so it solves that problem almost entirely. 5-6. This is a swing and a miss. I don't see much for duplication or anything like this, so sure, why not just try to escape? Maybe we wouldn't mind bringing another cover in 13-7, but yeah. I think he's still got always has access to the simple plan of just trying to run and escape while his opponent's struck behind his structure. 2-3 looks like he can hit twice. It's going to hit on the 11 and the 20, prevent the prime. Thomas wide open here, but it has a lot of wins coming after that sequence too. 3-2 is going to enter 2, and now if Thomas can make a point on head or some priming structure, he'll be in great shape. But he has way too many things he wants to do next roll with 6 blots around. So what's he going to get with it? I think this is going to be forced to point on head to try to buy the tempo. What other plays we have? I really don't see much else. It could go for a double hit, but we can't anchor. We can't make 2 more blots and making the 5 point or something like this. So it seems to be the best of it to me by a long shot. Yeah. Yeah, linking up 14-11 actually looks kind of nice in that 7-2. That's an interesting tactical play that I just probably wouldn't spot over the board even because it just seems so natural to make a point if we're going to go for something like this. But the bot finds everything. All right, needs a fan out of Jurgen quite a bit. Entry is huge, and he does enter and gets to hit with these blots everywhere. I think he has to with 7 blots around too. Of course, tempting to make the anchor here. But yeah. I mean, just having 4 checkers back, all the gammons it's going to win. This is huge. Ace, I think we want to hit for tempo somewhere. Maybe it could be the 3-2 switch. But we can also just shift to the 7 and have all these points working together. So that seems very strong. Yeah. This feels like the right idea. Okay, nice response for Thomas. Let's see what Jurgen can do with it. 2-6 is going to enter. And what's the 6 doing? I don't think it's hopping out. I think his opponent has just as much trouble escaping all this structure too. So he's going to wait a roll. And a lot of blitzing pressure, even with 4 back. That's interesting. Maybe hopping out could be okay here. But yeah, slightly better to play 13-7. As I started to look at the game plan, I realized that maybe the blitz isn't so strong with 4 back and that it could be better to just make sure we don't get primed. Thomas, I think, just looking to consolidate blots here, which he gets to do. Makes 2 points. Very nice shot. What else does he want to think about here? He wants to think about staying distributed to maybe make the 5 point. Maybe he needs that bit of structure, or the 8 point for that matter. But I guess better to just not be hit with fly shots here. Close decision, though. Or not too far off, anyway. But understandable why we would think about building here. But you really don't want those 2 blots in the outfield should your opponent attack you on the 22, I think is a big issue with it. And there's likely, so you incent quite a bit of loose hitting and things like that with plays like this. And I think we're just going to end up regretting being wide open on both sides of the board a little too often. What does Jurgen find? He can point on head. I don't see anything stronger here. Doesn't give up a blocking point that he really needs quite here, and I think he's going to need to do some attacking to escape this structure. Looks like the theme of this position is that he needs Thomas to be like having problems in dancing to safely run off that 23 point at some point. Happy to make his board a little bit better first. Aces, I think it's worth making the 5 point here. Yeah, right? I mean, it unblocks the 6s from the 24 point, but what a huge gap to fill in there. Gets a fan out of it, and Jurgen looking strong here now. He can win a lot of gammons in this position, but has a little bit of trouble escaping that the 2 back checkers on the 23. I think the structure in 7-3, even though it's very deep, looks nice because you might want the 8 quite a bit of time, but maybe something like 13-9 could be better. Look at this. Yeah, playing big is it's just too much to play down to the ace. You're not going to make the bar point enough, I guess, is a big problem. You don't leave that many shots, and making the bar point is definitely going to make it easier to come off that 23 point. Okay. I think I see why that's the priority here now. And he does go with the best of it, too. Nice find. Okay. Fan by Thomas, inopportune. Really needs to enter and hit. 6-4. Oh, he's got a dilemma now. I mean, he can make the bar point, but he could also hop out with 1 checker. He's going to go for the 6 prime pretty quickly, it looks like. But now might be the time. Especially since we can play, I mean, we could remake the 13. Seems really nice. I don't know. It's like, it could be getting low on timing to escape the structure here if we make the 7. So I'm a little scared to do this. And yeah, we can see just for wins that he needs to get going. And it's not that scary to be attacked either. Our opponent has 3 checkers behind structure still. And, you know, I guess 10 in the zone, but it just doesn't look like Thomas is going to have a very fun time blitzing against this very strong structure from Jurgen. So it's just like everything's coming together to make it possible to run off and go for it now. Let's see if he can find it. I definitely understand the offensive strength of just making the point, and he's going to be tempted into that offensive play. Okay. I think probably wants Thomas to enter and start breaking down now, but needs a 6 in short order to not be punished for that play. Ace-5 is going to break the 6 prime immediately. Doesn't look too bad, like he's likely to crash through the 24, but this is the risk of the last position, why we wanted to go for it. Oh, there was something better at the 5-1 apparently. We should slot the front. Wow, those are tricky to find. But that is an indication of how much timing pressure he's underneath. He needs to have options to roll the prime home like naturally and not be giving up like super jokers and things like that. So much so that slotting is a little bit better there. I don't know what the best 3 was there, but okay. Forced to attack on the ace here. The prime is given up. He needs a 6 or a 3 quickly. Thomas, I think, would be... I don't think he has a big preference with the ace, whether it comes in or not. This, I don't think we want to leave the 6-2, 5-3 fly shots right now. Seems like just a bad time for it. So I'm tempted to clean up, but maybe he needs to keep distribution to improve. Tricky one. Yeah, look at this. He should just play for the distribution. And what does he block by stepping up? It feels like more contact out on the 14 would be better. Yeah, 10-7 would be the temptation I had for sure. But Thomas seems to know whatever this idea is about 14-13. Nice find. 3-2 can split. Okay, he's got to go for it. And now Thomas definitely has follow-ups where he can attack. He's going to have to hit with that, I think. I don't think we can just let him go. Well, yeah, we're leaving shots anyway, so why not, right? I mean, we're not going to clean up. We're not going to waste the 6 10-4, I don't think. So I think now we can play 24-18 and 6-5 and go for it all. I like this play. Yeah. And 5-5. Oh, what a brutal roll for Jurgen here. Going to put 2 on the roof here and put Thomas under a ton of gammon pressure, but still needs to roll that 6 or 3 before he cracks. So there are problems here for sure. 5-2 is a problem. I mean, the 5s don't play, so I guess it's a little harder to crack. But yeah, he's forced to play his last spare 5-3. I think something like a 4-2 is going to have to clean a point. Or the deuces are actually very bad now, like any sort of 5-2 again. 5-5 not going to do anything, so he's surviving. But very stiff position and under quite a bit of risk that way. 2-5, there it is. That's going to leave a shot. Okay, here's Thomas's way back into this game. Nothing to do really but the 6-4. And look at this, it's 50-50. Of course, equity a lot nicer for Jurgen because he's going to win gammons a lot of the time when he wins, which matter for him. The gammons don't really matter for Thomas since he only needs 2 points. But Thomas right in this one. Fans again, though, misses his opportunity. 3-2 is a beautiful shot for Jurgen. Steps up, cleans up the blot. Ton of pressure off after that roll. But if Thomas can enter quickly, he's still going to give some containment issues for Jurgen for sure. Can't do it, so Jurgen's going to get free reign to run around the board. I think he's happy to duplicate 6s and aces from the bar. Have 6s of his own. Yeah, continue on to the 13. Nice play there. Thomas is going to fan again. And Jurgen threatening to pick up the 5th blot, which he does with the 6-5. I think he wants it. He's going to think about it for a minute whether or not he wants to time that. But it's going to win more, probably not that many more gammons, but definitely more backgammons. And that would get us to a Crawford game. So those are worth quite a bit here. Aces, wow, threatening a backgammon for the 2nd time in the match. That's pretty amazing stuff. He's even on the outside. What else can he do? Even up again? Sure, this seems fine. So he looks very safe, but he hasn't taken many checkers off, which is going to reduce the backgammon rate quite a bit. Oh, 6s is going to bring it back on, though. Wow. What a sweat for Thomas. This is brutal. Ace deuce is going to enter 1. And 2-1. Forced play again. Gets to take 1 checker off and smooth out the distribution a little bit. 2-1 is going to enter again for Thomas. He can't move any of the checkers from the 24. He would love to do that. Really just desperate to start throwing him out of the inner board and not lose a backgammon here. But the deuce, he does get to spend slotting the 5 in case he gets a shot and has a chance to win. 6 is only going to let him move 1 checker. Okay. Still under a lot of backgammon pressure here. Scary stuff. Wow, XG really didn't like his 6-1 for some reason. I don't know why. Okay. Seems pretty natural what he did there. 5-4 can move 2 closer to outs. So he's going to go ahead and do that. Spend a lot of pips in the inner board. And what a sweat this is. 4-2 is going to leave a shot. Okay, Thomas not completely ready for it. But of course he'll take a deuce if he can get it. 5-3 going to miss. I think we need to take 2 checkers out of the board. And sit on the 24 once more. What else do we have? Yeah, I'm just playing them from the 20 and the 19 and hoping I get a chance to escape. But 24 to 16 is the better way to do it. This is fascinating. I don't know this concept. But I guess this must be the most ways to escape somehow afterward. That's very interesting. He's looking at the 24 to 19, 20 to 17. Very interesting. Yeah, I mean, it reduces backgammons, we can see in the numbers, right? Does it? What if we play 20 and 19? Yeah, wastes too many pips in a close backgammon race. Okay, it's not too far off. And I guess we don't really have any threat, like where we need the ace here. If he rolls aces even, that's still going to leave a shot, I guess. 2-1 is the only thing we give up. So, yeah, it's just more important to spend all the pips trying to escape this backgammon. Very interesting stuff. We're just not presented with these problems very often, so it's easy to screw them up. Very understandable kind of play here, for me anyway. But okay, misses the chance to leave the ace point, has the instinct, can't do it. Ace 5, okay, now he can run off and he gets a chance at the coup classique as a result. I guess he was going to have that anyway, either way. But yeah, for sure he's got to run one off the backgammon and hope that he gets a chance to run off it next time. And his opponent can roll an ace now. And leave 2 blots, right? So I think he's looking for getting into cover range or something like this, but it just seems like there's a lot of iterations where he can run off the backgammon if we get this checker out now. Good find for Thomas. 2s are better for 6 points and a 2 away, 1 away Crawford. 3-1. Oh, instead he's going to leave the 2 blots. So now this is actually winnable for Thomas. Huge swing on that ace here. Let's see if he can pick one up. 1-2, absolutely. Gets to hit the deep checker and cover the 5-point. Huge roll for Thomas. This is going to save most of the gammons too. And like I said, can win sometimes. So we get to see him try to play out a coup classique position. These are tough to navigate. He's got good distribution in the outfield and should have opportunities to make plenty of good things here. I think he wants to pick up the checker right away, but you get worried about letting your opponent make the anchor, but not really, because you can just trap him off it. You have a ton of time to do that. Just plays the 15 to 11 around. Bot prefers something else by a little bit, but not a big deal. Needs to make the outfield prime to begin and then go from there. I think making the 8-point is worth it here, but maybe not. Maybe it's just more important to get distribution to make the 7. He's going to aim for that instead. Okay. Oh, you actually want to attack and try to make the board first and prevent an anchor. Very interesting. Okay. Could be the lower setting too is going to get these wrong. 6-2. So it would have been nice to prevent. Yeah, like you can prevent the double 6s here by making the 8, which are a pretty big swing. The 5s are going to hit though. So you'd have to prevent some jokers, but you're kind of hoping your opponent rolls like a 5-1, 5-2 kind of thing and comes off the anchor. And that's the plan eventually. 6-3. You can make a 6 prime first instead and then like start loading in, but I think this is as good of a trap kind of position as you can ask for. So yeah, bring in checkers and board to be ready to pounce on the back checker is pretty big here now. Is there some important way to block double 5s? Does he want to stay on him? Is that his idea? Not sure what he's trying to find here. 23 to 20 and 11 to 5 is best. Okay. So the 11 to 5 is some sort of concept that is important there. I'm not sure what that is about that. Gets another fan. 5-1. I don't think it's better to have the 7-point than the 8-point here. I think you block things a little bit better. So he's going to get ready to attack again by playing 10 to 4. I like this, hoping that his opponent runs off with a 5 and he can close it out. Needs Jurgen to cooperate soon, though, before he's just crashing through a 23-point. That's Jurgen's best way to win, is just to never have to leave his anchor until he can just race. He's got plenty of racing equity. It's just difficult to hang on to it. The trap is the real threat in this position. 4-1 still gets to sit on it for Jurgen, so doing okay that way. 3-1 for Thomas. What can he do with this now? I think he has still good outfield coverage wherever he goes. Like 19 to 15 still seems to contain quite well. I guess in the event your opponent rolls a double 5s, you're sad about that play. So maybe he's going to find a way around that and try to stay a little bit deeper. And yeah, it does seem to be favored to play to the ace. Okay. I think that must be why. Good find by Thomas. 6-3. Still no movement for Jurgen. Thomas, I think, about ready to make the ace point and get ready for that aspect. No such luck, though. And this is bad for distribution around, like, all around. So maybe 12 to 6 is the best of it we have. Otherwise, 19 to 13 and giving up the double 5 contact. Oh, this is an interesting play that the bot likes here, is shifting 3 to 1. Yeah, what's the difference in the points? Okay. I like it. 4-1 can make the ace and prepare us to attack on the deuce even better. Why not? I guess he can block double 5s is the idea now. But what do we do with the 4 if we do that? Yeah, so I don't see us getting to make 13 to 12. What a sweat we're getting in the second half of this match. Exciting stuff. 8 to 3 a little bit better to give up 6s now instead of the 6 and 1. 6-1 just seems very natural to me. So not surprised to see that. 3-6 misses. Wishes he would have given a 6 on that roll. Maybe he will now. I think he's realizing that he needs to keep the containment and really needs to trap his opponent off this. So I think it's about time. And he's small underdog in this game now. Because he hasn't been able to get Jurgen off the anchor. Can be a small favorite if he can close him out eventually. Still working on that plan. And 12-7 is a play we get like recirculated on a 5, but we don't actually want to make this 7 here, really. We want to have that open so that our opponent can leave on a trap. Not too bad, but Stays a little more pure than giving up the 8-2, I guess. You know, lots of ideas with it. So here, I guess we're going to play 13-7 for sure to avoid playing a 6 behind. And then whichever 4 is best, I'm not sure. But blocking the higher point tends to be better, so I like that decision. Just desperately needs Jurgen to roll a 5. Finally does. Okay. And there are going to be a lot of numbers from the roof that are going to hit here. Thomas needs one of them. 6-2 will do. I think we can avoid giving up the 8 point and just hit loose and board. Yeah, so we'll go for that. Less blots. Jurgen needs some sort of magic to stay alive in this one. Fights him off a little bit and takes some ammunition out of the zone. So Thomas a little further from closeout and returning fire. 6-1, I think same way. I think we want to hit on the deuce first. I think we don't want to give our opponent the opportunity to make the anchor. And we're so well poised to cover it this way too. That it seems stronger to hit in the board to me. Close stuff though. 2-4 gets to anchor though. Okay, punished for hitting on the bar point instead. Back into the trap plan. Let's see. I think he just wants to go for distribution here and wait for his opponent to roll a 6 or a 5. Not a 6-5 though. That would be a disaster. And it seems like that might have been a small mistake, probably because of that roll specifically. Maybe we need more coverage than that. 3-2 is going to get to the outfield there. Yeah, 19-16 with that last one. Okay. So now we see the outfield when he comes out with the 6-5. 6-2, okay. Thomas has his chance to go for the closeout again. The 6-5 misses, though, I think. Wow. What an important whiff. What a frustrating game after getting the coup classique. He just can't close it out. This is so hard. I think he wants to stay back for more contact like this, too. I think playing to the 3 makes a lot of sense. But, wow, he needs to cover the outfield in case Jurgen hops out, I suppose, is the idea there. Misses an opportunity there. No ace, but the 4 can hit at least and probably hope to be recirculated. Yeah, 19-80 needed to go for to coverage the back checker best. But, yeah, what else is there going to be other than the 4-6 and the 4 hits loose? 5-3 misses. And now I don't think Thomas wants to be recirculated. He gets the closeout with this. But Jurgen's made so much progress around the board that it's very difficult to win this game for Thomas now. He's going to have to bear off very aggressively. We can see he's 25%, so he's going to be finding ways to take most checkers off and keep the strongest board at every turn, which means 6 off, 2 off here for sure. And he gets a fan out of Jurgen. Good stuff. And 6-4, once again, same idea. We're taking checkers off. Maybe once we're a favorite, we can start to slow down a little bit, but he's not there yet. 4-6 for Jurgen, I think. Is it not better to hit? Yeah, it probably captures more of the race, but it's going to be confusing to him. He must see that he's a huge favorite if he just runs as well. So it's not clear he wants the additional contact against so much better of a board. But of course, the hit for the race is going to be worth a lot more if it's winnable for Thomas. But goes for no hit. Okay. See if he can get away with it. And keep the match going. 2-1 going to take 2 off. That's a tricky one. 3-1 is going to take the crossover, I think. Yeah, why not? 2 crossovers looks good. Can get off in a roll. And 4-4. That is going to decide it. I think he played it illegally. But that's fine. Oh, they realized that he can resign. Okay, cool. So what are we going on to? 5 away, 2 away? Wow. Clawing his way back. As promised, all the way from 5% match winning chances to 25%, I believe, is the number now at 2 away, 5 away. So we got a real match on our hands. Always happens a little bit at a time like that. Still going to be very aggressive with the opening cubes. Not quite 4 away, 2 away because the gammon price is different. But, of course, no recube rig for Thomas. So way more important to get the cube in time. How are the clocks doing? Thomas is down to 114 and Jurgen down to 226 on the clocks. They're both pretty low for the rest of this match here. Thomas always in time pressure like this, though. So nothing new there. 2-1 is going to slot for sure. I mean, favored play at normal scores, so definitely at a trailing score. Going to increase gammons. 2-1, I think, tends to split in response. Yep. 3-1 is going to cover at 4-way, 2-way, by the way. I think that's a cube. I've been working on all these. But not quite enough at this score, I don't think. So he's going to cover and either split or bring a checker in the zone. Bringing a checker in the zone seems a little rich with like the split and extra outfield coverage. So I like his decision there. Yep, shy of a cube here. 5-5 gets to go for a blitz. I think what's going to make the ace for sure. And then he's going to think about escaping 23-13 to play a simple game instead. And with the racing lead and the worst board, sure, okay. At the score and everything, that's a nice find. It's hard not to pull the trigger on the automatic sort of like opening fives blitz plays. 3-1 anchors up. Nice shot for Jurgen against that made ace. And what can Thomas do to solidify this position? Still has a racing lead. I guess he could hop out to the bar point and make the 11 just because he gets to make an asset. Or he could continue and try to get closer to the race that way. No good sixes either way, though, so might as well take a chance at freedom. I like that play. And Jurgen down in the race, I don't think really has anything here, but gonna pause to think about it. 2 can cover the 11, make it a little more difficult to escape that last back checker. And then I don't see a reason to leave the 3 to help him escape with tempo. So I'm probably just finding 8-5 with it. But they're pretty close. Okay. Totally reasonable play B. What do we got here? 6-3. 6-3 is going to hit and escape with tempo. As warned, all the way around to the 9. And so plenty of numbers going to hit from the roof here. But Thomas in good position if he can be missed. 5-6 is a miss. And I think just going to play 11-5. And I don't think he has enough threat at 2-away to cash this game or anything. But he's in exactly the kind of game he'd like to be. Where he's just trying to play a simple racing game and trying to consolidate this way. And he'll be able to leverage the cube if he gets to a usual like money double take kind of or double pass kind of position. Those 2 points are worth a ton for him and not worth as much for the trailer. So the take point actually doesn't change all that much. The 2 or 20, this is going to fix a lot of the race, but can't do anything about the third checker back, which is a real kind of drawback of it. So what else can we do? I don't think we want to stack them all up on the deuce and play 11-5, so I think we're going to get rid of the midpoint. Yeah, seems like the natural idea. But yeah, look how close 21-15 is for that reason, for how awkward the distribution is after this play. 3-2 can point on head, but with a weaker board, and we already have the racing lead. Is this what's called for at this score and in this game? I don't know. I'm not sure even for money if it's worth it. So maybe at the score, I'm going to lean even further away from it. Like 13-8 is just fine, though. We're still ahead after that play, right? Very close stuff, yeah. And so he uses the score to guide him. As is often the case when they're close, they tend to be close anyway, even at these scores. So kind of a nice rule of like not over adjusting here, but finds a good play that wins a little bit less, but risks less gammons both ways. 4 out and 2 slots instead of making the point. Okay, he's worried about timing there. Interesting. More contact too. I'm not sure I would have found that. That he has no midpoint contact though if he doesn't do that though. Okay, so finds something important tactically for this roll. That's a very good play. Very heads up to play 20-16 there, I think. 4-1 can start to make more board points. Great, nice. Rolling it forward and can definitely keep maximum contact with those 2 blots behind. But Thomas going to clear safely. And almost certainly going to have a double and a pass after that sequence. Great stuff for him. And on to the Crawford game we will go. Unless Jurgen wants to play it out for some reason. You never know at these scores. People think they've just got to get the turnaround in the recube in. But this looks way too strong to handle to me. And yeah. Doesn't matter to double too much because Jurgen, aren't really sequences where he gets back in the game. But massive pass with almost 85% winning chances. And Jurgen knows this, passes this one, and on to Crawford we go. In a nearly perfectly played game there, too. 5 away, 1 away. So Jurgen back down into the teens of winning chances. I think it's like 16-ish% chances to win at 1 away, 5 away Crawford. So got a long road ahead of him again. But it can be done. It's better than the 5 that he was down to. He's made an improvement. Made a battle out of it. Rarely a favorite in this match other than right in the beginning, you know. We'll see if he can get back to that. 5-1, he's going to slot at DMP. I think that's fine. They're very close. I call this DMP because the gammons are only going to save a free drop, so not worth very much. Both players generally playing to win. 3 is going to cover, and then probably 2 split for lack of options here. I don't see why we want to get a blot involved in the outfield. And we cover the outfield a little bit better after that split. 2-1 can just safety and play simple for Thomas. Is there anything better? The stack of 6 is never fun, of course, so he's got a very stiff position to deal with. And Jurgen with the much better distribution. Still worth making the bar point to interact with all those, sure. But contact is a nice plan here when our opponent's so rigid in their position with that giant stack on the midpoint. 5-5 can just escape to erase, or is it better to remove some contact with the 6 to ace here? Not super clear. Not super clear. Okay, he's just going to go for it like this. Either way, we leave like a kind of stacky position with work to do. So, I don't know. I don't have a way to strongly favor one or the other. Quite the dilemma. 6-3 is going to leave a shot immediately, it would seem. Is there any duplication ideas? Sure, I guess we can duplicate the 6s or the 3s. What does he roll? He has a 6-3, right? Oh, he's thinking about just playing the ace to duplicate the aces. I didn't see that. I was thinking down for sure. 8-5, 8-2 is best, though. Wow, nice play, Jurgen. Okay. 6-3 is going to come in and 3 down. And I guess this puts maximum pressure on the back blot is like kind of part of it. 5-2 does not seem to be able to cover, but it can make another point, so he's going to do that. Sure. Rolling forward, Thomas looking for an ace now that his board's better. Still can't do it. Way down in the race, so happy to stay for contact. Not going to run or anything like this. 2 down will help him build. Sure, why not? And we'll be happy to stay back for the contact fearlessly. Again, gammon's not really mattering. 6 is going to cover. What can our 4 do? It's going to leave 6-1, 6-2, 3-4, 3-5 if we play down, which is quite a bit. And our opponent maybe escapes with tempo. So it's scary to do, but it feels weird to play 6-2 for me. So, I mean, I think I would find that. Yeah, okay. But they're not too far off. Not too far off. We're getting close to that borderline. 6s is going to nearly even out the race. So now Thomas would like to have some chances of escaping. But the 6s would have to park into a triple shot, so not worth coming out to that quite yet. Just going to bring a lot of checkers in. See if Jurgen can make the point. He does. Makes the 5 prime. Great improvement for him. Thomas still happy to run with a 6 here, I think, if he can get away with it. 5-3 can just make the ace and prepare for contact. Okay. And 6-2 can just safely come in and threaten to close out. Surviving for his life so far. So Jurgen is. Yeah, I think just playing in the front and not giving up the midpoint contact makes sense for Thomas. If we're worried about saving gammons, maybe giving that up somehow could help. Aces are going to switch and reduce the contact. I think, well, he immediately goes for the 6-4 distribution, but he could actually move the open slot all the way up to the 3. So that seems intriguing to me as well. Gets a fan out of Thomas. 4-3 is going to close the board. Great shot. And 6-2. Okay. Gonna play 2 down and just looking to avoid leaving double 6 shots, things like this. And sure, stacking up the 5 seems fine here. Not worried about gammon, so just like clearing the 6 and things like that are gonna be fine in a position like this, I think. So this roll, for example, I think we just go for wins and clear from the rear. He's looking at the best way to even out. And finds it eventually. Nice play. 6-1 is going to enter and take a crossover. So Thomas will still try to save the gammon here, of course. It's going to be tough to win. But not a big deal if he doesn't either. But likely to go to a 4-way, 1-way Crawford. 2 crossovers again for Thomas, even though it's a tiny roll. (4-1) gets into the 6. So if we get to the 4-away, 1-away Crawford, then that'll be a free drop score where Thomas can just let go of the cube the first time if he's not a favorite. Talk about that in my book for sure. Just simplifying that whole process and when we're a favorite and when we're not and all these kinds of things. 6-1 is going to come all the way around. Okay, gammon nearly saved for Thomas. 6-5 takes 2 off. 3-3 is going to take 2 off. And I don't know if there's any wins here for Thomas. If he sees that for certain, he'll move on. But going to roll it out to keep it simple, I guess. 4-3. And both of them under a minute on the clock, too. So under a little bit of time pressure as it goes. But at least the cube decisions have disappeared, so they should have enough to navigate DMP and, you know, gammon savage kind of positions as they go well enough. And it looks like Thomas is going to resign the single game. And on to 4-away, 1-away post Crawford. Another perfectly played game by both of them, pretty much. Looking for the Crawford note there. For the viewers. 13 is fine, though. We all know when they're 1-away. Okay, they're going to take a short break before we come to the conclusion of this match. What an exciting one it's been so far. I mean, 4-away, 1-away. Let me look up real quick what the match-winning chances are from there. But, I mean, it's getting real now, you know. If we look that over, 4-away, 1-away post-Crawford is a full 31%. So almost a third of the time he can win this match now. After being down to, in the equity table, we had 13 away. 2 away was, wow, it was all the way down to 3.75%. So we're seeing what makes backgammon super exciting in this match right off the bat. Super fun stuff. I see in the chat they're asking, where can you find other match scores? Oh, yeah, the brackets and stuff. I haven't gotten any word on that, but I'll check over. I hope that someone will send me that information, and whenever I get it, I will share it in the description, but I haven't seen that yet. So it's possible that they're not doing any sort of online brackets. Who knows? But if I can get that, I'll share that for sure. But, okay, while the players take a short break, we're going to be coming back to 4-away, 1-away post-Crawford. Super exciting stuff. And I'm going to send you to some promos real quick while we wait for the conclusion of this really exciting match between Jurgen Orlowski and Thomas Tenland. Be back shortly.
Fingers green like
All right, and the players are back there. Hope you enjoy those little ad breaks and the music and everything like that. It's fun being able to do stuff like that. But cool. Here we go. 4-away, 1-away, post Crawford. Both with less than a minute on the clock. We'll see who wants to close this out more. And, okay. And a 6-5 to open for Thomas. So here comes the cube, and will be a take for Thomas because he has the lead after the opening. And we're going to play this one out. If Jurgen can win a gammon, he will win the match. And if Thomas can win the game, he'll win the match. 6-4 going to go for a point. Yeah, I guess what else do we have? We could split for contact after our opponent runs. Both seem fine. All right. 3-3. Would love to just make a bid at escaping, but it seems like an awful wasteful way to spend your double threes. So I think 2 points is great in unstacking. Yeah, I like this one quite a bit. And Thomas looking good in this game. 3-2. I think we want the deuce down for sure to contain. And then does the 3 want to split or come down and leave more fly shots? Maybe splitting a little stronger here, even though we're against a better board. But down seems prudent as well to not give up the anchor. I guess I'm leaning towards that as I say it, but it gives quite a few more fly shots. So a tricky decision here for sure. And finds the 2 down play. Very close stuff. Good one for him. 3-1. Thomas has an amazing response in making the 5 point. Has a much better board. But if Jurgen can make a board point too, he's looking pretty good here in containing that Trekker at least. And at least always has the backup game plan of the ace point, but not the timing to keep it. Thomas just looking to hop out here. The 2 can step up, which is a nice opportunity to do that, to see the light. 24-22. Welcome back, Burak and Daniel and everyone. Oh, he wants to play 2 down instead. Why would this be? I really surprised these are actually close because it feels very much like he wants to get up and just play a race here. 3-1 is going to improve the board and would have left a shot too. So misses a small opportunity there. 3-6 can just run now though. Okay, so he gets his opportunity anyway. 2-1 gets the hit though. Okay. Jurgen's staying alive, but behind some difficult structure with that 24 points. So whatever happens here, he's still under quite a bit of pressure. I feel like Thomas should still want to enter high here, but now it's getting less clear because we are going to get attacked a lot against 11 in the zone. But he gets to clean up the blot with it. Yeah, okay. Not too far off to find some other deeper entry to make sure we don't get blitzed. 6-3 gets to continue the attack though. Okay. Jurgen with some real gammon chances here. Ace-4 just entering is very nice for Thomas so he can move checkers around, continue moving valuable gammon-saving pips. But the win is getting distant very quickly. The ace, I think, wants to block the escape. And then 13 down? Why not? I don't know. I guess we could just go for the attack too, though. Maybe 6 to ace is worth a little more here with such a close race and all these things. And the 4 is so bad afterward. And freezing our opponent's checkers is going to win more gammons. So I'm quite tempted by that play now. But yeah, okay. The original just winning. The other play wins a bit too much more. We don't win enough more gammons. Okay. Well navigated by Jurgen as usual. Good stuff. 2-5. Wow, huge roll for Thomas. I think he gets to at least step up, if not try to run into the double shot. And if he gets away with this, he's in very good shape. But many ways for Jurgen to hit, of course. 6-3 is a miss. Wow, what can he do? How does he conserve his winning chances now? He might really need to split soon, but I mean, just safetying blots and not getting hit seems pretty strong too. Oof. Tough one. I didn't look at the hint on that, but yeah, he needed to split. It's just like no time in this position to sit back, so he needs to find a contact play. Tough stuff there. 5-3 is just gonna... I mean, I think Thomas can pretty much play safe here now. He doesn't have a lot to worry about with containment or anything. So he doesn't really want to leave too many fly shots. Seems like the best balance is this 8-5 into the 12, and we have a lot of ways to make the 4 and the bar point. 13-5, a little bit better. Okay, that's fine. 2-5. 2-5 is going to slot a point and come in. Okay, preparing. And yeah, now that he missed his opportunity to leave, he might be stuck on that 24 point for some time. Thomas gets to improve and make the 4 point. Coasting home pretty naturally, leaving just a few fly shots along the way. 4-1 is going to get to cover and split. Okay. Yeah, I guess he does have to go for that. Doesn't care about being attacked for a gammon. Cares about cracking and just having no way to win this game. And if the bar point got made there, that would be pretty devastating. Now he has 6s out, if that happens. But no such luck for Thomas. Not really a whole lot he can do with that 4-1. Yeah, I guess I don't see a huge difference between 12 to 11 or 13 to 12. Must block some number. 6-4 is going to hop out to a double shot, so a little bit of chance for Jurgen here. But Thomas very much threatening to close this match out. The 2 is going to hit, put him in great shape, and the 5 can just continue into the board. I don't think he needs to spread out. 2-1 gets to anchor now. I guess so, though we don't want to sit on the 23. Yeah, so it's actually a close decision to just play it wide open there. 5-2 could clear the 8 safely, but probably makes a lot of sense to play 12 to 5 with this too. Sure. Okay. We don't like leaving the fly shots. 5-3, down too much in the race to think about just running here, I think. So he's got to sit on it, but he has to start to bury checkers if he doesn't run. So this is a tricky one at DMP, I think. Okay. Yeah, coming off the anchor somehow is called for. He reduces shots. Could have slotted the board point instead. Seems quite fine. Thomas gets to hit and go for distribution and leave no return shot, so in very great shape here. 6-5 is a fan. 2-1 is... I don't think it needs to prevent the anchor here. But, yeah, just 10-8, 5-4 looks like a pretty nice DMP play here. But the 23 is going to win some games, so we do have to worry about that at some point. He has such good distribution to close it naturally. Gets his first step towards that. Jurgen looking for an ace to establish a 24 point now. Pretty desperately. Can't do it. Thomas does not get a closeout number. Can bring something off the 8. And I don't think he wants... Oh, yeah. He can play 8 to 7 because it's 2 on the roof. So no ace 6 shot. Fan, wrong side of the dice for Jurgen. Has he moved to like rolling with 2 hands for some reason? That's interesting. 4-3 is going to close the ace. And what is 4-3 going to do now? I can just take a checker off, right? I think this must be what we have to do here. Yeah. Best distribution. Even though we have the checkers only on the high points, it's a little risky there. 4-1 can, maximize distribution by just playing from the back. And 6-5 is going to clear from the rear. Nice shot for Thomas. So very likely to coast home to a match win here. Jurgen enters 1. Really needs to stay on the roof and hit a late shot. Thomas gets the even out, though. Can just clear the 5 points. So that's going to be even less ways for Jurgen to eventually win this game. All but locked up for Thomas now. And the 3-2 fans, okay. So Jurgen happy to stay on the roof just to have some sort of hope here. Thomas evens out a little bit more. Jurgen going to need a fan and some sort of ace to even have hope, but can't do it. And going to resign the match on that. Okay, and you have your round 1 winner in Thomas Tenland. Jurgen's still going to be alive in the tournament, getting kicked back to the second chance bracket. But yeah, we'll figure out what our pairings are going to be for tomorrow eventually too. I believe that we'll be back at, let me check the times on the calendar and everything like that too. But yeah, in the end, both players playing underneath a 4 there too. Pretty good stuff. I'll find a way to save match files too. But yeah, really exciting. Tough break for Jurgen. Clawed it back, made an interesting match out of it after starting 2 away, 13 away. So got really close, played pretty sharp after. Pretty optimistic take on that too. Yeah, like almost as close to, I mean, the PR without that 300 is amazing stuff, you know? So really sharp match by him. Pleasure to watch them both for sure. But there they go, packing up the weapons and such. But yeah, let me pull up the calendar real quick so I can tell you guys what to expect for the rest of the weekend here too. I believe what I had down was a start time of 9 my time, U.S. Central Time, which should be 1600 Gibraltar time is when I think the next round tomorrow is going to happen, as far as I know. That's subject to change. But after I shut this down, we're going to coordinate on what that match is going to be. I'll get a stream out there and like post that out on YouTube and on my Facebook page so you can follow up there. Yeah, so more information on that coming. But tune in tomorrow for more mid-round games. We'll be going through as much as we can show there. And then we'll have, the 2 finalists will be determined on Saturday, and then we'll have the finals of the whole tournament on Sunday. So a lot more commentary to come all weekend. I'm excited for it. Thanks for joining me. So many of you, really appreciate the discussions in the chat too. Whole bunch of people watching. We'll close out with that ad sequence again. You can check out everything going on here. But we'll be back with more backgammon action from Gibraltar tomorrow. So join me and watch out and subscribe to the Gibraltar Backgammon channel if you want updates for when those streams go live. Please do hop over to my YouTube channel and give it a subscribe if you're interested in more backgammon content too. But that'll do it for tomorrow, for today. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye now.
Bye.